The Supernatural Dogshit podcast is controversial and confrontational and may cause offense to some. Listener discretion is advised.
And you're very welcome to the Supernatural Dogshit podcast. I've been instructed that I'm not allowed to talk.
Instructed. He's going to follow instruction.
No, you need to apologise.
I've been instructed this
Apologise.
evening not to talk about certain things. So for tonight, I can't talk about certain things.
No, you could talk about certain things, right? But we won't go in the same vein as last time.
Oh, well, no, I'm not going to talk about certain things.
We won't say anything that's already been said.
The public has spoken. The PC Culture Brigade has fucking won again.
Oh yeah.
Pack of lefty bastards.
Oh, lovely.
So, on that note, that's kind of what our topic is about tonight.
Lefties.
It's kind of lefties. Kind of.
You gotta love the lefties, man.
I asked the question,
What's the question?
is the world gone too soft?
Yes.
And is everybody playing the part of a victim?
I think
Not
you are.
everybody. Well, anyway,
That's the second
let's
hour.
introduce everybody.
Yes, let's do that. In studio with me, we have Mr. Pierce Fox.
Woo! How are you?
Yeah, that was definitely weak sauce.
That's somebody's mommy shouting at an 8-year-old boy playing soccer.
Fuck off, man! I'm getting out of the house. Leave me alone.
We have to get we have to get you acting classes, man.
No. I'm too genuine for that now.
Too genuine.
Too genuine.
But that was a genuine reaction.
I'm happy to be here.
Oh,
Hey.
okay. No judgment.
Fuck off.
No judgment.
Pepsi.
Yes, I am here.
And yes, I was just about to say, and also in the studio with me is Mr. Richard Quinlan.
And then
God,
everybody,
to be a man.
bring in the
That's
shit
your
tonight.
option.
We've got Mr. Aiden
Crosstalk.
Doyle.
That's me. Richie, do me a favor. Social media, because last week I was terrible at it. Where can
So,
they find
the
us?
podcast, soon to be known as the podcast formerly known as Supernatural Dogshit.
Yes.
You can text or WhatsApp the show, soon to be formerly known as Supernatural Dogshit, on 085 2727212. You can find us on Facebook, which, if anybody's watching now, that's probably where you're watching us, and on YouTube.
And the Ubuntu.
Ubuntu. Yeah, we're everywhere. If there's a link tree, so we're on like all social media. If you could use it, find us. If you're listening to us, you already found us. So I don't know why we're asking you to
We go
look
out
for
on
us again.
Podbean afterwards, don't we?
What?
We go out on Podbean afterwards.
And Podbean.
No, I haven't uploaded anything to Podbean in weeks.
All right. Okay.
It's nice to say it though.
Yeah.
But we are everywhere. We're kind of like
No. We've
We're
no
not,
TikTok.
we're not on Podcast Addict. I've been asked if we were on that, and we're not.
No, but we're in all the good places.
Okay.
But we will. I've never heard of Podcast Addict.
Neither
but
had
I can put it up there.
I think we're at the
I
stage
can
now
put it
where
up
it's
there
going
either.
to be word of mouth.
See, we're creeping in everywhere like COVID and migrants.
Yes,
That's a great way to open the show, isn't it?
it is.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll talk about that in the second half of the show.
How come?
But until
how
then-
come when fish go in through international waters into territorial waters, they become part of that nation, but people don't?
Because fish are delicious.
Now, first of all, fish are not delicious. Fish
Yes, they are.
You sound
fish
like a
is
man that spits.
nasty.
No,
You sound
monkfish.
like a man that spits.
I don't like yellow fish. I don't like red fish. I like white fish.
Did you not hear what he just said?
What's he say?
You sound like a man that spits.
You
I'm
don't-
try-
you
He
don't
doesn't like
sw-
fish. I get you. I get you.
You don't swallow?
No.
I don't get it.
You don't drink fanny juice?
No, you don't.
No, you do.
Yes.
Actually, there should be somebody listening to the show tonight. I was talking to them in O'Brien's garage this evening, and I told them they were saying, she looked at the hat and went, "Oh, I must listen. I keep forgetting to listen. So I'm going to listen tonight because I told her we were on tonight." So she will be listening. So we
Or
have.
else she's sitting at home going, "Oh, I should have listened to that."
Probably, but I did say to her, "Listen, I have to warn you. You know, lots of bad language, filthy behaviour, and
What, normal humour interaction, basically?
yes, yes.
That's all it
Apart
is.
from the restriction coming from this side of the table."
No, it's not restriction. It's just a firewall for your bullshit.
Kind of like a restriction, Richie.
You have to.
Nah, you can lift a restriction plate off anything.
We're like, you know, there's just like two angels on someone's shoulder.
Yeah.
He just has us here so he's not some lunatic raving and ranting on the internet.
True.
Have you ever seen the movie?
I didn't deny it. Next.
Have you ever seen the movie, animated movie, The Emperor's New Groove?
Not in the last 20 years.
So you know who Kronk is?
Yes.
The really dumb guy?
Yes.
Who is he played by?
I can't remember.
Big actor. He was in that that sitcom comedy thing on. It was an American show with the
You've
little.
really narrowed it down there.
Yeah, I'm gonna narrow it down. I'm gonna narrow it down a lot more. Your man from
You Frank.
it puts the poo on me. What was that of?
What?
It gets the poo on me. Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt. Oh, your
Joe
man.
Dirt.
Yes, I know the guy.
Who's he? The blondie little fella.
Ah.
There was another guy he used to always like sidekick with, and he died. He was a brilliant comedian.
But there's a guy he sidekicks with in a lot of voiceover stuff, and this program I'm talking about as well. And it's the big, huge, tall guy, and he does the voice of Joe Swanson.
Oh yes, I know the guy. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, but you know who I'm talking
Yes,
about.
yes.
But the whole
He looks like the dad from The Incredibles if he was in real
he
life.
does
Yes,
look like the dad
yes,
from The
yes,
Incredibles.
yes, yes.
But the reason why I'm talking about that is because you said the two devils on the shoulders.
Yeah.
So in The Emperor's New Groove, Kronk is having a moral dilemma, and the two devils pop up, the angel and the devil. They pop up on his shoulder, and the devil gives, the angel gives his point on it, and the devil says, "Yeah, but look what I can do," and he stands on one hand. And Kronk looks down at him and goes, "What has that got to do with that?" And looks over the angel, and the angel goes, No, wait. He has a point.
I know that meme.
It's awesome. That is my sense of humour.
Fucking gack.
Go suck a dirty nutsack. Right, you tell a fucking story, so. Actually, no.
I got really annoyed today. Just looking at all this hate coming to IMH, Irish Metalheads on Facebook. It's escalated. There was a statement from Irish Metalheads.
Okay, first of all,
What's a bit
why
of
are they getting
context here?
hated?
Oh, right. There's a page about Irish Metalheads, and they're like, it's supposed to be for metalheads who aren't supposed to give a fuck and like crazy music and dark themes. And then they come in like super positive and like any negative words. You're not allowed to have an opinion if it's not 100% for something, and they ban you and bar you for anything like that. Anything serious talk or any calling someone a gowl or when someone's talking shit. There's no calling people out. It's all just
It's a bit like Irish Simpsons fans.
yes. The exact same culture took over. This lefty, overbearing. Soon as you give some authority, like to an admin or a modmin or any of that stuff, they just come in and pop and pull and prune it like a garden because they're just looking at getting likes and shares in. But the guy who runs this, right, he was raffling a €100 guitar with €1,000 worth of tickets.
Oh.
And when he
That's
got
not bad.
and when he got called out on it, no, because he said it was just for the price of the guitar.
Oh, okay. It
It
wasn't
was
like
like
one
an
of them
SX Explorer.
Okay. I
he-
don't know what that is.
You know SX, like the
Does
off-brand.
that have like
you know,
4
like,
strings or 6 strings?
like Harley Benton. You know, like electric guitar.
Is that like Hanna-Barbera?
It's pure like James Hetfield's guitar,
Right.
but it's the cheap Chinese knockoff.
Okay.
It's worth 150 quid.
Right.
He was raffling with over €1,000 worth of tickets, and when he was called out, and he's like, "Oh, I was trying to make a few extra bob and pay me rent." And people are like, "That's not what these competitions are about." Like,
I know, but you see the lads raffling off cars and like, they'd be raffling off an A86 Corolla or something
yeah,
like
but
that.
what they're doing there is it's €120 ticket, and there's 1,000 tickets, or like, you know what I mean?
they'll do something ridiculous.
For a tenner, and they make sure it'll sell. Like I work with a guy who does these competitions.
Right.
He's got 6. I shout out to Ollie and Keane with 6-star competitions and 6-star competitions for her. But like
Are they the prizes in pink or something?
yeah, stuff like that. But no, they're like women's stuff.
I know I'm taking the
But
piss.
anyway, what the boys do is they find stuff people want, they buy one, and then they sell off the tickets. But they're making razor thin profits to keep loads of raffles going. To keep,
Okay.
They're being really clever about it because nobody trusts these raffles.
No.
So they want to make loads of winnable raffles.
Okay.
You know, and they'll make a little bit every time, and it's more like a hobby.
And then it'll be like the lotto, they'll add 2 extra numbers.
But you know what I mean? Like, they're being responsible. They're trying to establish a brand by having reliable competitions. And like, when people are putting focus into the work, like and trying to do it during a pandemic, driving all around the country, delivering gifts to people, trying to be COVID safe, like it's a ball ache.
Yeah.
But they kept going. But they started big with a car, and then they started like they eventually got the ticket sold and got the car raffled off. And they even put it in that, look, we give you $2.5 cash or the car. And they wound up getting rid of everything, but they did a load more, and they're starting to fly it.
Let me ask you a question. What has any of that got to do with metalheads?
Anyway, sorry,
So,
there's a tangent to a plug there. But with Irish metalheads, these people got overbearing and ban people, and then an uncensored page pops up, and this has happened multiple times
like
with
the
Simpsons.
Simpsons, yeah,
it's
yeah.
happened multiple times with them, and then those pages get took over by the same mentality, and it's like a mind virus for these people who think they have authority to tell people what they can say or do on Facebook pages. But somebody I know highlighted it to me today. They sent me a message in the show, and the guy was like, "Why am I getting banned?" A conversation between him and the head guy Seesaw, and he tries to be in the Irish metal scene. You know what I mean? He's a big diva, but he's been like creeping on chicks, using the page to creep on chicks, banning people, like getting people like stuff, and then like asking people to post pictures of their babies, post picture of whatever T-shirt you're wearing that day, and some people thought it was cringy, and any negative connotations against it. Barred. So he actually made a whole page of these people.
Nice.
Because when you try to search Irish metalheads to get into it, all you see is Irish metalheads uncensored come up because you're banned and blocked from the main page. So he literally is like, and this page is like got a good going now. And
seems to be a bit of a cancer though, doesn't it?
It is. But he responded now saying that there will be legal action. And,
legal action.
Seeking talking to a legal team. And
is he going to?
As he's going to email somebody on Facebook, like. And
get Joe Lycett to do it.
No, but it's been so entertaining for me this week watching the downfall, because he's acknowledged it on his own page, and loads of Irish bands have actually jumped on the bandwagon now and be like, get off that Irish metalheads thing, because they started adding international people, but like, you know, fuck them. And fuck that mentality. I think it's ruining social media for people, man.
Well, that mentality is exactly what we're going to be talking about
in the second half. I'll say one thing about the Irish Times.
What's that?
It might be a rag with no quality journalism, but you can hate on them in the comments all day and you'll never get banned.
I didn't get banned, but I've had a few comments deleted, like.
Oh, I've had comments deleted as well.
Yeah.
If someone complains about it, they're deleted, but you always have your chance to say it. And that's a really super lunatic. Dennis O'Brien owns it. It's just like every other paper in the country, just do it, don't talk about me.
Big shout out actually to a mate of mine on the Irish Times. He's a correspondent and was
perfect link.
He was Middle East correspondent for them there over in Iraq for a while.
Okay.
Savage.
Has some good stories. I might
bring him in.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Sounds like an excellent podcast guest.
Yes. So did you get up to anything unusual this week? Or have you a gripe that you want to, give out to anybody in particular about?
Oh Jesus, yeah, I have so many gripes.
Please do.
No, I can't. I really can't. Like, they're work related, and it's.
Did you just steal my cigarette?
Is that yours?
Yes.
Would you like it back?
No, you can fucking keep it now.
Oh, sound.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're grand. We can move on.
Can we? Really?
Who pissed you off from work?
Oh, no one anymore.
Are you even allowed to say where you work?
No.
You're all very fucking secretive.
You should have said nothing about where you work, and people will think you're an international man of mystery.
I couldn't give a flying fuck if people know where I work.
Imagine it just transpired we're both his social workers.
We're actually,
Imagine,
we're your key
That's
workers.
why you couldn't talk about it. I can talk about it, but you can't.
We're here to help.
Actually, I have been told many times I do need a care staff around me 24/7.
You did.
I did.
Maybe last
night I did.
No, 4 or 5 years ago you definitely did.
No, last night I did. Because I'm back on my pills.
Yeah.
Yes. So
how are they?
Oh, did you tell him you got a tattoo?
Yeah.
What?
I got a tattoo.
Where?
I sent a picture to you today. On my foot, my toe.
Is that on your... I didn't know what the fuck that was.
That is a tattoo.
A terrible attempt.
Yes, I know, yeah.
That's Talk Yogan, so it is.
It's what?
That's Talk Yogan. It's not Joe Rogan, it's Talk Yogan.
What a name for a podcast, the Talk Yogan Experience.
Yeah. No, that's, I'm sure there'll be...
or Experience Talk Yogan.
I tell you where...
Get this phone up your ass.
Fucking number 1 in China, man. Chinese guys just be in there.
I tell you where...
it's Talk Yogan.
I tell you where I got the idea from.
What?
Harley Quinn.
Ah.
Right.
Yeah, she done this tattoo on some man's toe on the Graham Norton show.
Who? Margot Robbie?
Yes.
Right.
Margot Robbie. And I was like...
Sorry, it wasn't Margot Robbie doing it to your toe.
But Ed... No.
Greasy biker boy.
Mr. Harris. Last night, Mr. Harris said, do you want me to do that tattoo on your toe? Clearly, I was inebriated. He does,
He
yeah.
has a tattoo gun?
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
But it's his first time doing tattoos for people.
Right.
So I said,
he shouldn't be doing them for anybody. He needs to go and draw for 3 years and sweep the floor.
Let me tell you. You have tattoos.
What?
You have tattoos. They're not painful.
Yeah, no, they are.
No, they're not. It's
have you
where
seen
they creep into.
Have you seen the size of your tattoo?
My tattoo?
Yeah.
Where? On
your toe?
Oh, it's tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you have an opinion yet.
Yeah,
I have a tattoo here, I have a tattoo on my back, and I have a tattoo over here. I have an opinion on this.
Yeah, you have 3 little cutesy tattoos.
no. Hold on a minute. The one on my back is about yay big.
Yeah.
So that's the size of a postcard.
It's the size of
That's a fucking sleeve.
Yeah, but the point is, they're not that painful. It's not like getting a
No.
tooth out.
There's areas where it gets painful and not painful.
Okay, your toe,
Very not painful.
wanna fucking bet?
What about the ditch in your arm there?
Here's the thing, you guys know that I burnt myself recently. Well,
Yeah.
it was a couple of
But
months
see,
ago.
the thing is, you
Never felt anything.
Yeah, but the problem is, right, there
did
should be a
last night.
lot of thick skin on the big toe. And,
I've bitch feet.
yeah, but if he's they could be going in too far. He doesn't know. He hasn't been trained in tattooing.
Yeah.
Well, it literally felt like he had a knife and slicing the knife around. That's what it felt like.
See,
It was super and I was on medication and I could feel that.
Was he going over his own lines? Or
I haven't a clue.
And what weight? Did he have 3 needles on it or 1 needle? Or 5 needles? Or
In the condition I was in, I didn't know.
No, the line's pretty thin. It was like one, I'd say.
definitely 1.
But-
See, like, he's happy enough to do that to himself.
Would
That's
you-
cool, but he shouldn't be doing it to anybody else.
Would you allow somebody to do that to your toe?
No, but if I was there, I wouldn't have allowed him to tattoo you either.
Yeah, but see,
Here, look, it turned
In
out
fairness,
all right.
it's not bad.
It turned out all right. Like, it turned out
Yeah, but
right.
it's not like giving each other a dodgy piercing that'll heal up, like.
oh no, it's there
done
for
the-
life.
Like, because if he's got a gun, he's serious about doing it, and he's probably going to do loads on himself.
Well, somebody did actually say that tattoos on the soles of your feet don't last very long.
No, they don't.
No,
because
no.
It's
There's certain
skin.
areas where they don't last as
It's,
well.
it's a high wear area. Like.
Yes, a high wear area.
Like your hands, like, you know, you see people doing the palms of their hands and fingers here,
Yes.
wears fast. I can't get my fingers done because they'll wear.
Hmm.
I can get my hands done, but they will fade fast.
So
So my missus has her hands done because she's soft, feminine hands. She's not out doing what I'm doing. Like,
I would really like if you guys could get one on your toe just to experience the level of pain.
No,
I will actually know that
no,
next
like,
time I'm over.
I
I'm like,
have-
Sashi, I have to do my toe for me.
I have one tattoo,
Perfect.
and I'm going to get more, and I have them all planned out.
What have you got already?
I'll show you during break.
Oh, is it somewhere not?
An elephant.
No,
What
Hey.
is it?
it's a tattoo of the AIT logo.
Class. That's hardcore.
Wait a minute. You have a tattoo of the AIT logo.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
The Athlone Institute
Of Technology.
AIT.
You
should have
to-
got scribes.
No, it was closed the year I left.
Why?
There were scribes. What was the other one? What was the one in the college?
That was
You
Scribes.
lo-
That was
Oh.
Scribes in the college, and it was Charlie Brown's across the road.
We played a gig in there.
Did you fuck?
Yeah.
Huh.
Most monged and like out of it I ever was.
You fit right in.
It was us, JP13, and then later in the evening it was Blue Moose.
Okay.
But it was so funny. Your man came over telling us to turn the drums down, and Aldo just looked at him and like hit them and we're like,
Fucking drums.
"They're drums."
So back to your AIT. Why?
Oh, we're back on that, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, it was final year. I had a long path.
Out of how many years?
I had been 9 years in college at that stage. It was a 4-year course, and it was my 3rd course I tried. I was really fucking
Driven.
yeah, and I was kind of like,
Well, fair play to you because that's
I
how
wanna-
you find your groove.
well, no, like I won a voucher. I won a voucher on a fucking night just by chance, like.
Yeah.
It was a fucking
Tattoo voucher.
Yeah, it was a €50 tattoo voucher, and I kind of went, "Fuck it!" Like I have this idea, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll get this, and it'll kind of decide how I feel. How I feel about that future, how I feel about that tattoo in the future, will be dependent on how much effort I put into this year."
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manifest the pain, like,
Yeah.
and just overcome it.
Yeah, and then like I tried to trade a picture of it with my lecturer for an extension towards the end of it, and he was like, "If you'd shown me that at the start of the year, I would have given you an extra 10%. But
Oh, for
now,
fuck's sake.
now if it means that much to you, you'll do it."
Question. Ryan Reynolds, very early movie. He was a student but didn't want to leave school, and his father kept paying for him, and he didn't want to pass.
Van Wilder,
Van Wilder.
Van Wilder's something. Was it just
party liaison.
Party Liaison? That's what it was. Excellent movie.
Brilliant movie.
He's kind of. I was thinking of Van Wilder the whole time when he said he was 9 years in college.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
I could picture was Van Wilder.
No, I did a decade in college.
How
I
long?
did a year afterwards.
What did you go in for first?
I went in first for legal studies down in WIT.
And how far did you get into that?
Ooh, not very far. I did maybe 6 weeks of semester 1 and 2 weeks of semester 2.
And then just chilling in the gaff for the rest of
A
it.
lot of chilling in the gaff.
What was wrong? What was wrong with it? Why didn't you want to?
College life.
I'm dyslexic and I hate writing.
And legal studies.
Yeah, what a terrible fucking.
Oh,
career
wait
choice.
till you hear what I tried to do next.
Go on.
Journalism and visual media.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
How long did you go at that?
Oh, I did 3 first years.
Where?
Oh, Dublin.
DIT.
No.
UCD.
No.
Trinners.
No. Well, yes, I didn't get those points.
Where was it?
Griffith.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So Van
And was
Wilder.
that 3 years of
That was
couching
3
it
years
with
of
the boys?
sesh, like.
Yeah. And then after that?
AIT.
For 4 years.
4 years.
But like
Except I repeated second year.
5 years.
It's 5 years.
Sound.
10 years of college.
And full sesh life through that?
No, I had manners.
You could have been a
Were
brain
you like,
surgeon.
did you become like,
No, not by the time I finished in Dublin.
were you like the Gandalf to like house session lads?
Occasionally, yeah.
What, like the old guy?
No, because there'd be guys in like third year like sitting there on the couch for their third year in a row like, 9 years.
Did you ever say that to like another student?
Oh, yeah.
They must have looked at you the way we're looking at you.
Yeah,
And
just
thought
like,
Van Wilder.
why the fuck don't you just go get a job, like?
He's the origin story.
No, he
for Van
was.
Wilder.
He was Van Wilder.
Yeah.
Pierce Van Wilder.
Did you get a dog and jerk it off into cream cakes and make somebody else eat it?
No.
Oh, so warm.
And this tastes familiar.
Yeah, that's good. I love those like.
Then, like, towards the end of it, I got really into societies because I was like, fuck, I just spent the last 10 years in college.
Yeah.
And that's all my CV says, like.
Yeah.
It's dirt, like. So I got really into societies and they've walked me through every interview since. So if you're worried about your CV, do a bit extra around the place and show you can do more than your course.
Yeah, I definitely need to learn how to interview better.
And is your yes, you do. You 100% do. Your degree that you have now, which is
Masters in Neuropharmacology.
Masters in Neuropharmacology.
He can give your brain stuff.
And he's dyslexic.
Yes.
Oh, I am, yeah.
So how in the name of Christ does that affect you?
Basically, I've done a lot of work on it, but it used to be that like my reading and my speaking would be more advanced than my writing. My writing would be like maybe a few years behind.
Okay.
Literally. So that like when I was maybe 15 or 16, I was still writing at about 12-year-old age. So my sentences would be stunted. I wouldn't explain points fully. I wouldn't be able just to fucking finish an exam.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I could read.
No, I could read good. I read real good.
Can you read the handwriting?
Rough enough.
Yeah, it's terrible. That's my handwriting. My handwriting's awful. But I had a big problem with reading. Yours.
I know the only word I could read on that
What?
was nurse PTO or something.
No.
You know that's not a PTO at the end of that.
No, it's not.
There's no shaft in there.
The unmentionables, I can't mention it. Can't say nothing because I'm hated apparently.
You're not hated. You're not hated. Did you put? But you're like, oh, I'm hated. You went out and said those things.
No.
You wanted that reaction.
No,
I'm just doing my job.
I'm a victim.
I'm just doing my
yes,
job.
Yes, exactly. I'm a victim of doing my job and all
Victim of
these-
circumstance.
So we're all victims. We're all little bitches.
We are those.
I'm
It's currency.
I'm rubbing your filter. It is a currency.
You're up victim coins.
Yes.
Ka-ching. Your little pouch of victimhood with bags of little tears on it like, oh.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that chart, how you work out privilege?
Oh, I've seen that.
Everybody starts off with like 1,000 points, and then you take away like 180 for like bisexual, but 300 for fully gay, but then 450 for trans, and like
Yeah.
they have it worked out. But there's so many. But every time you step down, there's massive bigger deductions, and they have it all worked out. So someone like me, I could start out with like 1,000 points, and by the end of
You'd have
their
like
grade,
980.
I'd have 950.
That's not a lot. That's not a big loss by any means.
No, but it's just because I'm a straight white male.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the only criteria I've met. But
And-
that's all I'll get out of that chart. But then these charts, I think, are toxic because it's encouraging victimhood. Whereas I don't think it's like you say to people, are you a victim or are you a survivor or are you an experiencer?
I think like in part some of those charts and stuff, they can help highlight how difficult it can be for other people.
Yes.
So that like let's say you see a transsexual, right? And instantly your eyes kind of go, that's them, and they might not be very passing. Do you know, if they were like male to female, they might not be very passing, you know? They could be fucking 6'3" and built like fucking Sean Og, like.
Yeah, that's my problem with that whole thing, is because.
But you're instantly going to fucking degrade their points and anything else they say based on that.
Yeah,
like,
but this chart is like a meritocracy for victimhood.
It highlights stigma.
It does. It does that. It definitely highlights it. But what it does then is these people are looking to bring this forward as some sort of social credit, involved in some social credit scheme. Like.
Nah, that's nonsense.
And you know, at least 4 times tonight now I've tried to avoid talking about the topic that's going to be coming up in the second half. Yeah. But you just keep delving into it. So what I'm going to do is...
It's a nice topic. Should we rush into it?
I'm just about to say, what I'm going to do is, let's get into the topic. Now, I should explain the reasoning behind why I'm doing this topic. It's because an episode of Good Morning Britain that I sent you a link over. And
I fucking hate Pierce Morgan. Don't get me wrong, right? But
how
those
come
people...
he turned half good in 2020?
What?
He turned half good.
Oh, yeah, anti-gun, and he's up for trans rights and stuff like that. I don't know what's wrong with that.
Yeah, because he realised he's just fallen to popular opinion. That's all he's doing. He's trying to keep himself relevant.
But he was like going after Trump and stuff about different things. Like, he kind of said stuff that was like...
Because he's seen a sinking ship and he thought he made his decision then. Like, these people are really smart. Like, he's like him. He's out to be controversial.
I'm not out to be controversial.
Yes, you are.
No, my opinions may be controversial to people, but that I'm not setting out to be controversial. It just happens to be my opinion.
Okay, you just wind up being controversial. Even Pierce Morgan, he winds up being controversial.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
But in this particular interview...
So you think nurses are shit and weak?
We know he does. We know he thinks
I never said that.
That's what he thinks. I never said that. I think nurses are awesome.
Absolutely, same as
to
nurses
the theme
are heroes.
of the Lego song.
Everything is awesome.
All the nurses are awesome. PTSD is awesome.
Now you just went the opposite way with that.
It's a joke.
No, but I can't joke about it.
You can, of course. You can joke about it, but you can't rant about it.
Okay.
But
yes, boss.
Point I was getting to with this thing, fuck Pierce Morgan, but these people, the way they answered the questions and they just jumped to... But if you look at the video, there's spite in their eyes.
Well, there is, but we're not showing the video.
And it's... His son was killed, and
let the video explain itself.
Go on.
Let the video explain itself. So I'm going to play this video. It's not video; it's a bit of audio, so the guys can hear, but they won't be able to see.
We get a break, yeah.
It is a bit long. It's 4 minutes long, but we need that to play that for context. I have chopped it up a little bit, but it gives you really good context. Should be playing, but it's not.
We couldn't have a more experienced panel of people all directly affected by knife crime. Alison, I want to start with you because you have brought something in that's especially significant and poignant. Tell us what happened to your son and what you have in your hands.
In my hands is my son. This is Joshua now, my little boy, my only son. Joshua went to a memorial event and got into an argument, and the young man that stabbed Josh left the party but then came back and decided to stab Joshua once. It went into Joshua's heart and he passed away 7 hours later. The reality of knife crime is these are people's children, not a statistic, not a headline, my little boy, and that's why, of course, it's personal to me, but there's a lot more that we can do, and I'm sure today will highlight a lot of those things that we can stop people's children becoming murderers, which will then result in a lot of less victims, so less people like Josh will lose their lives.
Justin, you were a former bus driver. You set up United Borders to help unite rival gangs in North London, the first project of its kind. 5 months after you launched that charity, your own son, Rico, who's with you, was stabbed 10 times by 7 men. You've been watching, I guess, the debate. You've heard Sajid Javid saying he wants more stop and search. Is he right? Is there a problem with stop and search? What is the answer?
I've heard you talk a lot about stop and search as well, and advocate for it.
Am I wrong?
Definitely wrong.
Tell me why.
Definitely wrong. For the simple reason, from the community point of view, we're asking for targeted searches, because a lot of the people that are carrying out these crimes, they're known to social services, they're known to the police forces as well. So if it's targeted searches, we're for that. When you're talking about blanketed searches, we're walking back down to sus law days. There's a host of older black generation who are walking around with being suspected of doing something they haven't done, and they've got a criminal record as a result of that. Here you are advocating for something that doesn't affect you, but yet still you're asking for it to come back.
I hear your passion.
Yeah,
Very
definitely
not-
passion. I've heard yours.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some back.
Go ahead.
Okay? And
Wait.
it's this.
Yeah.
Do you accept that the vast majority of knife attacks happening right now in this country are by young black males on other young black males? Do you accept that as a statistical fact?
I accept that in Lincolnshire last year, they have the highest murder rate proportionately in England, but no one reports on it like that. I also feel that there's a media campaign to help the criminalisation of young black people. Because if I ask my white friends further out of London what they think of gangs, the first thing that comes to their mind is young black people.
Well, there have been 120 people killed in London from knives this year. Trevor Phillips, who was the former chairman of the Racial Equality Commission, right, wrote a piece at the weekend. I think only 2 were not young black men. I mean, at what point do we just, as he says, do we take the gloves off this debate and say what is going on?
At what point does Trevor Phillips become the voice for black people? When does one person become the voice for an entire nation? Never happens within your race, but yet still Trevor Voice is the moral high ground and the opinion for black people. I've never seen him in a barbershop or a food shop. Do not tell me about Trevor Phillips. He has no credibility where I come from, none.
But that doesn't mean that statistically he's not right? And I would give you this parallel, right? And it's this. When we had a series of terror attacks a year ago in London, and it was deemed to be ISIS-inspired, right? What did we do? We demanded action amongst the Muslim communities of this country, right? And everybody thought this was a good idea, right?
Yeah.
What is the difference between the number of people dying from terror attacks, right, and targeting people where these attacks are coming from, and saying to the black community, these are young black men killing young black men? If I'm accused of racism, right, for saying what is a statistical fact.
Not racist, privilege.
But it's not.
Hold on a minute, you're not the...
I don't have to worry about my son's getting stabbed.
Can I respond to what you just said, please?
Yes.
I do not recollect, I grew up in the 70s, throughout the 80s, when the IRA had a bombing campaign throughout the whole of England. I do not recollect white Irish families being asked to talk on behalf of some white Irish extremists.
But white Irish families were targeted. They were.
What do you mean targeted?
People were investigating white Irish families to try and work out IRA.
Yeah.
So they were.
Yeah, investigated. But I don't recollect a time when white Irish people had to apologise for their extreme attackers.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry. Oops. I didn't expect it to end so soon. And yeah, the lads are still chewing there. Put on a bit of...
No. All I wanted to jump in there and say was he was asked to agree on something, then he jumped topic, and then he was confronted again where he's like, no, white people, yeah, we did this to the Irish. The Irish had a really shitty time off us. It's very hard for English people to admit that.
Yes.
But it's coming up in their favour now to say, yeah, well, no, we were shitty to these guys right next door.
But
well, you know...
People, like, as I was saying to you, I'm just going to reiterate the point. Irish people in London during the 70s and 80s.
Oh, pariahs.
They hid their accents on the fucking on the underground. The tube in London.
Yeah, my mother and father when they went
but
over
even
to,
in
the,
work,
to,
like,
to the UK, they were stopped and searched as well. This wasn't that long ago.
Well, the guy I know, it was in 1990, driving to Belfast. Had something to do with a job, but he had a mobile phone.
Okay.
Crossing the border with a mobile phone, he was arrested and interrogated until he was able to ring and prove where he was going to Belfast and ring and prove then what kind of person he was down in Mulgar.
Fuck's sake.
For possession of a mobile phone, because at the time it was like, oh.
Well, that guy was in that video was asked a very specific question. He said by Pierce, and it was, "Do you accept that it's
Pierce,
basically
not
black
Pierce.
on Pierce?
Yeah, Pierce.
It's black on black crime."
Only 2 of them weren't.
And he said, "I
it was
accept blah 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 blah
in
blah,"
Lincolnshire.
which had nothing got to do with the question that he asked him.
Yeah.
So the reason why I played that video, that specific video, and the reason why I'm asking the question tonight, how did I word this question?
Because he said you should have preventative searches. It's like you can't go around picking on certain people. You have to get everybody that fits the MO.
No, his son, who was stabbed 10 times. No, he's alive, the kid. He was sitting beside his father. His son was stabbed, and he's still advocating against
something that would stop that from happening.
Random stop and search.
No,
because
see, like, there's no such thing as random. It's subjective on whoever's walking around.
Okay, a black kid.
Yeah, but that's
no. It's not just a black kid. It's a black kid
with a hoodie.
Exactly.
Standing with another bunch of black kids with hoodies.
But do you know what I mean? Like, fucking...
I'm okay with the cops stopping and searching them.
See, the problem is when they stop
I'm
and
okay with
search
that.
10 or 12 of them, they're going to find at least one of them with a knife, and that lad's getting arrested, and he's fucked with a criminal record.
Well, he could be the one that was just trying to protect himself against somebody else and wouldn't
I
actually
understand
instigate.
that.
Like,
I understand that, but a
Like-
lot of times, these lads take out these knives and they stab people and then they die.
I know, but
But it's gotten out of control in London. Like,
And good kids go to prison. That kid who stabbed somebody, he didn't want to stab somebody, but he was getting attacked and he brought a knife immaturely out with him. He stabbed somebody. Now
he
he's in
was
fucking
afraid
prison.
to face someone.
see, like the massive mistake they
Like-
made there was a pocket of time. I'll just segue with this.
Yeah, we're good.
But there was a time in London where it was rife with moped crime. It still is. It's still a massive issue, but it got real bad because they had to bring in a law where some PC people were like, no, we can't chase them now on the mopeds anymore.
Oh yeah, because
Oh,
they,
yes.
yeah.
Because it's too much of a risk. So it was just fair game for them because they knew they'd never get stopped and chased. And then they repealed that law and didn't tell anybody. And within a week, there was a massive downturn there because they just started ramming lads off bikes, and word got out that, you can't just.
Fantastic.
But it's completely clear for anybody to smash them off the bike. If you know the way, like, if you were up the street and you seen them snatch a woman's purse, and you intervened and knocked them off the bike, you're liable for everything. But now it's more like, it
You
was a
done a
scooter
good-
crime.
good
I
job.
bet it fucking
Yeah.
good Samaritan law, like.
Yeah, but like that attitude, but the attitude then is, we're being discriminated against and all this, like, and they're just going
And
nuts.
this is my point, and this is why I'm bringing up this question, the very specific question: has the world gone soft, and is everybody a victim? And the reason
No,
why I'm asking is
that's-
because
doesn't work with
because
this.
you
Harry,
look,
no, you're not even warmed up yet and you're shouting at us. Stop.
I'm not shouting.
No, but
I'm
see, there is
asking a
victims.
question.
They're all victims.
That's my point.
But this is a real issue where there is real victimhood and real victims.
Of course there is.
I'd be talking about everybody being a victim, as in people, she said this about me in social media, so now I have a thing. I'm talking more social media influenced victimhood, where this bullshit, like his sound bites, there's some way people.
Aiden, you come from Dublin City, right?
I do. Well, not city. No.
Okay,
Clondalkin.
Clondalkin, sorry.
Clondalkin, yeah.
But like, you understand how what postcode you come from determines how likely you are to be on the pulse system.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally
You know?
get that. Totally get that. But no, see, this is stop confusing what's happening in that video with the question that I'm asking this evening, and please don't do that. Let's look at the question that I'm asking, which is: has the world gone soft, and is everybody claiming victimhood status? Because you said it yourself, it's a currency these days. In that video, that father said that he advocates against open searches, random searches.
Yeah.
Even though his son was stabbed 10 times. His
Yeah,
father is
because
so
he doesn't-
blinded by his
No,
own victimhood.
He doesn't see that as an actual solution.
Of course it is. Taking
Oh, yeah,
weapons
Because
away.
he sees the
Just
reality.
because-
of
No,
being
wait,
treated
wait,
like
wait,
no,
wait. Let Pierce.
Bans have worked for everything. That's why there's no illegal guns, there's no illegal drugs, there's no counterfeit products. Bans work for everything.
Okay, nobody said bans. I'm not saying banning
No, no,
things.
no,
Where am
no,
I
no.
saying banning anything? I'm saying
No, no, you're-
randomly stop and search people.
And they do
Absolutely.
the same for drugs, and they're still everywhere.
I understand that, but we
It's
need to
ineffective
We
policing.
need. So it's not ineffective because you look at the amount of weapons that are taken off of people.
Yeah,
it's
what they're
ridiculous.
planning here is literally.
Oh, have you seen the sculpture, the knife sculpture out of all the confiscated knives?
No.
Yeah, it's class.
It's beautiful. They made an angel. Like, it's about, it's a big fucking angel.
Okay.
And it's made out of
Knives,
welded.
sword, machetes,
Yeah.
pen knives, pocket knives, dinner knives, kitchen, every type of knife.
It's like, I think it's called the Angel of Death or something
But
like
is
that.
it, is it not better to have these weapons off the streets
Oh, completely.
and having
But
them to restock each time?
do you know what's
it's better.
Do you know what's even better though?
What?
Actually, like, putting in proper social programs in communities so people can see a future beyond gangs.
Okay, so what type of social programs are you talking about?
Like, areas where there are these issues. An
See, the
awful lot of
problem I
people
have with
don't
those-
see a way out of their life. They don't see any way to achieve anything.
Yeah, but the problem with England at the minute is they're not providing any services to anything either at the minute.
No.
Tories just snatched up all that
Yeah.
money, and it's pretty much the same here.
It went on a bad IT system for COVID. Like, COVID cost them more than the entirety they ever put into the EU, and leaving the EU cost them more than the entirety they ever put into the EU as well.
Yeah.
I understand that if a black kid who goes and stabs somebody in London and it was purely out of self-defense and he was carrying the knife, either to be cool or for self-defense, if he goes to prison, it is just a series of unfortunate events.
Yes.
It is.
That's what it is.
But as
All
soon as
amalgamated together, it is unfortunate. But it is still better to have somebody like him off the streets
What
and to
happened-
have the weapons taken off them as well.
What is the rate of reoffending for knife
The
crime
recidivist rate?
convictions?
I'd say it's pretty high. I'm not
Do you know what I mean?
100% sure.
No,
on that.
there's, like,
that
I
creates a
understand
circular
with
system.
social programs and stuff, and if we're talking about an ideal world, it still won't get away from the draw gang culture. Like it's toxic. Like it's out there.
I know, like gang culture is so strong because one, it's that whole family fidelity thing. You know, you're in it for each other. You have each other's backs.
Not
no
even
matter
at the
what.
scene though. That whole
But it's
drill.
but
you know,
it's like,
drill scene.
yeah,
it's-
the drill grime, like.
Yeah, but you know, they're really sneaky fuckers because I heard on a different show what drug dealers actually do is they will give a kid, say, 500 quid worth of cocaine and they'll tell him to go off and sell it. And when he goes off with that 500 quid worth of cocaine, there's somebody waiting up the road to beat him up and take it off him.
So
And
then
he
he's trapped
goes
in
back
debt.
and he says, the 500 quid is gone. And he'll say, now you have to work that off for me.
Yeah.
And before he knows it, he's a month or two there, and now he's a part of the team. And he's getting protected, and he's getting lavished with goods. And who the hell wouldn't like that? That's thug life.
Yeah, but he's going for jail.
So I understand, I do understand the reasoning behind all of these social difficulties, but I do not think putting a football pitch in is going to help them.
Did you ever see Man Like Mobeen?
Who?
Man Like Mobeen.
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's a great TV show about like an old feckin' road man, still living in the area, and just fuck it, like it's good. You should watch it. He's actually he's a black Muslim as well, so you might enjoy it.
Okay.
But
what's-
like back to the whole.
yeah, but
Pierce
what
thing.
has that got to do with that?
Anyway,
Because
it's
I-
called segueing.
No, I don't get the reference.
Oh, because you're bringing up like about black on black crime and
You know Roadman,
ISIS
fam.
and stuff.
Huh?
Roadman, fam.
I've no idea what you're
Ting
talking
dem what, and then you know it, man.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Go on, what were you saying? I have no idea what you were talking
He
about.
gets it.
Go on.
You remember that 2 + 2?
No, don't
before?
mind that.
Quick
go,
maths.
no, go back onto the topic now because I have no idea what you're talking about.
But young black men, look, they're
Let's
it's-
not make
it's-
this a black and white thing either.
It's not a black and white thing. It's a solely black thing.
It's
really.
The question is victims. Is
They're-
everybody claim? And
No,
here's the
it's
thing:
a social, it's a
there's so
social
many
economic
victims.
thing. It's nothing to do with color. It's
There's
just
a-
unfortunately that color is
Exactly. You're a
effectively
victim.
No, but the problem
ghettoised
with this was he
through
tried-
social stigma.
he tried
and
to-
predispositions in society.
Yeah, and he tried to use his race card to play out of it, where
Yes.
he should have talked it through and explained. But these men don't want to be stopped by the police all the time. It's going to
Why don't they want to be stopped by the police?
because
Who
it's an
wants to
open
be
air.
hassled?
It's an open air prison.
Who
You live in
wants
an
to be
open. If
hassled?
you live in this estate
And-
and the police go around searching everybody every day, it
Dude.
becomes an open air prison.
Look, I drive for a living. I get stopped all the time. I have my car searched on a regular basis
Yes.
because it looks dodgy me going around town at night. And it does not bother me. The guards are doing their job. I'm okay with them randomly searching
Yeah, but
me.
if you're
I'm okay
black,
with that.
if you're black, it's a different story with the police.
Yes, because and
unfortunately.
that's the thing. No, it's not. Not
because of the media, really.
Not in this
it's
country.
not even that. It's not even that, right? If you
Everywhere
look- no,
because
no.
of the media.
It's not even that. It's like
can't
if you
blame the
look,
media.
if you look
Yeah,
at,
can.
if you look at the Gardaí, right? Generally, they're white men. You know, they're Irish.
wonder why.
No, but like what I'm saying is, you resonate more with their cultural identity than if you're a first generation immigrant into Ireland and these are just
Totally
the
get that,
police.
but I think you're totally wrong. Because the Irish Guards are so different than any other force
they're
from around the
brilliant,
world.
like, they're
that
brilliant.
They're very accommodating towards foreign nationals. Because I have seen it myself. A guy who was banned off the road so many times, and he got caught driving while banned and speeding and all sorts. A Pakistani guy, and the judge. No, it's not him. It's not. No,
Riz?
it's actually not him. No, it's a friend of Riz's. But the judge went, "Oh, go away, you scallywag, you."
Because he's being a cheeky
I'd
chappy.
be in prison.
When you think about judges, all the people that see, oh, I'm really sorry, I'm really
I'm not gonna
sees
lie,
this
I'm not
really
gonna
cool
lie.
packy guy, it's, let him off.
Yeah.
If you could actually get that as a judge will go away, you scallywag, you'd frame it.
Yes, you would. You would. But I have seen so many times, even with Riz in the car, and I get pulled over with Riz driving, and they'll say, "Have you got your license?" And you say, "Oh, I left it at home." And
Is
it's
that white man
always-
bothering you?
Oh, perfect fucking example. Thank you very much for bringing this. When you hear this, about 10 years ago, myself and Riz went up for a drive in a Ford Escort up into the Wicklow Mountains because we weren't doing anything weird.
No, but it just Ford Escort Wicklow Mountains.
Yes. And the whole idea was to go up into the Wicklow Mountains, smoke a couple of doobies, and have a bit of fun. Not fun, but fun.
Yeah, just walking around.
Like the stars and all that type of stuff. So we're sitting in the back of the van, and we're puffing away. And next of all, we're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, out the Sally Gap.
Next of all, on the side of the van, we're like, what the fuck? Like, werewolf? What the hell is going on here? And they said, Gardaí. I was like, well, it's not werewolf. So I opened the door. And there was a big lump of hash on the floor. Big block of fucking hash. They took the two of us out of the van, and they could clearly smell it. So they started to search me. Riz turned around and said to the guard, I'm cold, can I just grab my jacket there? And the guard said, yeah. Picked up his jacket and got the lump of hash.
What?
No. And held it in his hand the entire time. Do you know why he held it in his hand?
Because it's brown?
Because he wasn't searched. They never searched him. Do you know what they done with me?
What?
The big white van. Come on over here into the back of the van. Pull your trousers down, put your both hands against the wall there and squat. Yeah.
Second time you had your ass out in a van that night.
He
Brokeback Mountain, baby.
He did not get searched.
Yeah, imagine the paperwork searching the brown guy.
Why?
Because Ireland's PC.
So do you think that's what's happening? Do you think the guards are too frightened because of PC culture to actually do their job?
Or maybe some of them are decent human beings.
I don't think that at all.
Really?
I think you're a dodgy fucker.
No, who, me? But Riz was equally as dodgy that evening.
No. They looked at his face and went, nah, he's alright.
Sweetheart.
What the fuck? What do I look like?
Clondalkin. No offense, Clondalkin, but you know that's profiling.
Oh, actually, I saw a really good video during the week. And I won't explain it now because it won't translate on air. I'll show you after the show.
Sound.
But back to the topic. What the hell who was talking last?
Oh, did we have a topic?
Yeah, we do have a topic.
What were we getting at? Anyway, he tried to use his race card to talk his way out of that argument.
Yes.
And it didn't work because the points he was trying to make, he's like, you wouldn't do that to no white people. And it's like, yeah, no, we did to the Irish.
Yes.
And the whole, there's an ignorance from there, but you can't say anything in these times. You can't be like, well, now.
Because you're racist.
Yeah, and you see how they trotted around that and said only two of them were white. They're trying to say black male as little as possible.
Yeah.
There's obviously a massive problem.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's not like an American race relation problem. These are second, third, and fourth generation English people. Mm-hmm. They just happen to be black. It's not like in America where they identify as African American, even though they're nothing to do with Africa for the last 3 generations of their breed.
But there does definitely seem to be some sort of correlation with violence in black people.
There's a correlation, but you have to look for. There's different causations, and again, you can't discuss those too openly either because you'll be going down dangerous.
I was just about to
holes.
say that. I don't, and unfortunately, I don't know what the causation is, and my eyes were only opened recently to the amount of violence that black people do. Now, I'm well aware that white people are violent and scumbags and murderers and do all sorts of weird shit.
Every race is. That's the problem. But the problem, I think, the way you look at it, if you look at it just on a people level, there's always less of them where they go. So they're always going to be under the microscope because they're so different.
So if you're under the microscope, behave yourself.
But that's not how people work.
Is it not?
No, people are themselves, and we have to respect.
The Irish in America?
But you have to respect Europeans and Africans and the fact that we didn't really meet each other until recently enough in our human history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not in human history now.
No, but modern history.
Modern, yeah.
There was always a separation. They have a completely different way of living that we don't understand in Africa. In certain parts of
I get
the whole
that,
thing. I didn't understand it until I watched the whole thing about Dave Chappelle. He did a 2-hour interview about when he moved back to Africa and learned to live at African pace.
Oh, yes. Sorry,
and coming back to America, he doesn't give a fuck about time anymore. You know, because it's a white man concept.
but here's the question, though. You know, I don't want to say that black people are more violent. I don't want to say.
No. There's violence in Africa, but there's so many. The human beings want to live in peace and harmony.
Okay, he just said I don't believe in that in the slightest. Okay, unfortunately,
No.
It's your edge into the.
Let me explain what I was about to say.
The Belgians in the Congo, the fucking horrors.
Will
of
you
slavery,
let me explain what I'm going to say?
Trials, man. White people are sick.
How do you know what I'm going to say?
No, but what he's got a good point to make, which is the point I was trying to make. A lot of this was instigated. We already assumed that they had less value than us all that time ago.
No, man has always fought with man. There's nothing special about that.
Okay.
No, but enslaving man, that's when it gets weird.
Right.
Bear
with me a sec. Let me explain what I was going to say. where it comes to black people and violence, the reason why I'm saying this is, as I said, I don't want to say it, but I feel like I have to say it because I've seen with my own eyes very certain things, like statistics.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
America.
Yeah, in America.
The murder rate.
But you have to remember in America, right? All the lineages that were brought there as slaves were the biggest, baddest, strongest people they could get. They didn't bring, like, you know what I mean? They were bred for, was it 2 generations of slavery? Or was it 3 generations of slavery in the New World?
Oh.
Because originally there was a ton of Chinese slaves.
Yeah,
and then
over on the fucking West Coast.
But they had to buy them at a premium, whereas you could buy African slaves that were coming in from by European traders. You buy them in the bunch. You could buy Irish women were sought after to breed with blacks women, make mulattoes. You know what I mean? Like they pricked around with people. People were currency, like literally, like commodities.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Right. When you look at it, coming away from that, there will always be that residual racism that's there.
Yeah, but see, right, so let me finish what I was going to say. I'm trying to look up the murder stats there in America. I can't remember what they were. I think it's like 60% of the murder is done by 40% of the population.
Yeah,
which is the black people.
Yeah, they're horrible statistics.
So that's a really bad statistic. And you look at
you need to match that with income inequality to make it anyway at all real world.
Now listen, don't jump at them because of income inequality. What I'm saying is, right, since
income inequality is not any excuse for murder, so I'm sorry.
No,
you just,
it's just,
yeah.
No, it's not an excuse.
Crime,
it's a causation.
Crime is most associated with higher levels of income inequality.
I understand that. But
So
it's still not an excuse to murder, and
It's
to
not at
even
all,
turn
but
around
it's
and
not an
say,
excuse.
what you're doing is the epitome of making these people into victims.
No, we didn't say victims. You just make sense.
No,
of them.
hang on a
That's what you're
second.
doing.
But I have a fucking good point here, right?
Please. No, it is a good point.
What about the Wall Street bets and short in stock?
What about-
and how many
GameStop.
suicides that caused?
What about?
How many suicides did that cause?
What about? We're not talking about
But
that.
they're murders.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Wall Street
Yeah,
murdered way more
but they're
people.
murders.
So which one?
But they just don't get the blame for it.
you walk into.
But they don't get the blame for it.
You walk into a building, right? You walk into this
People
building.
lose their houses and their jobs, and no one gets the blame
and
for
the
it.
building is ready to fall down. Let's say this building is ready to fall down,
Full of shit.
right? And there's a tiny fire in the corner there. Which issue are you going to deal with first? Are you going to put out the fire, or are you going to run out of the building because it's falling down? You're going to run out of the building because we need to focus.
How does that relate to
we
short
need
and
to
stock?
focus. We need to focus.
How does that relate to short and stock?
I'll tell you how it.
Stop
I'll
both these. No.
I'll tell him how it relates. I'll tell you how it relates.
No, you really need to stop.
I'll
Both
tell
of
him. No, I will
How
tell
does it
him
relate
how.
to people's
Lads,
pensions funds being robbed?
I'll tell you how it relates.
You both need to stop talking.
No, I don't. I need to.
Both
explain.
of you do. Both of you do.
I
Let
was
me
asked
talk
the
for
question.
both of
No, I was asked the
you.
question.
Yeah, but you're going to stop for 2 seconds.
No, I'd get one fucking point out on this bleeding podcast without being interrupted by you two. Just
I'm
let
not
me
interrupt-
fucking finish.
No. You're
You
both
are-
interrupting each other. Neither of you are listening to each other, okay?
I'm listening to him. He's just wrong.
He asked a question. I have yet to answer it.
Right. Hold on. And you hold on. You're getting really rattled by the word income inequality. It literally triggered you the second he said it. Right? I haven't actually said anything. I've just been trying to moderate the conversation to no effect. So I'm just going to moderate the conversation now. The same question will be asked, and there will be speaking time, and there will be no shouting over each other, and points will get finished. But remember, keep the points short and snappy. So, question again.
Yeah, and I would appreciate if you would do the exact same thing, Richie.
Yeah, let's do it. No, because I'm just... Yeah,
Okay.
Let's go.
So I can't even remember the question because you fucked it up for me.
Right, income inequality.
No, it wasn't that at all.
No.
That's what led to it all.
No, yeah, but
That
that,
was your
wasn't what
trigger
he
point.
asked. No, he asked a very specific question towards the end there, which was...
Why isn't short in stock and causing suicides treated as murder?
Okay, I never said it wasn't. So don't put words into my mouth. What I'm saying
No,
is...
I just asked the question.
Well, no, but what I had explained to you was... What was the example I gave about the burning
falling
building?
down building,
Yeah,
yes.
burning building.
Very bad
You
drop.
have to pay attention to the bigger problem first.
Right,
You
100%.
must do that, and that's what I'm talking about. If you have a bigger murder rate from this section of society, we need to concentrate on them. We need to do
We
that.
have no idea.
But
What- you're talking like 10,000 people between 2008 and 2010 committed suicide because of the fucking economic crash.
Okay.
And that was a manipulated crash, like.
Okay, but it wasn't intentional murder, Pierce.
No, but it was the intentional ransacking.
I
of the
don't
building.
care. It's not intentional
It's
murder.
fucking manslaughter at least.
At the very least, it's manslaughter. right?
Exactly.
It's
So
not,
that,
it's
that-
not intentional
that-
murder. We're talking
no,
about the murder
no, it
rate
is,
in
'cause
America.
Right.
For manslaughter, you have the actus reus, you have the actual act of murder, but you don't have the premeditation. You don't have the mens rea.
Yeah. Now, To be fair, let me get something in there.
I did a couple of weeks of law. Leave me alone.
Yeah, boom.
6 weeks.
I'm pretty sure city planners, when they put all the black people in America in their own boxed off area beside the dump in every town, it's just something that magically happened every town they made. They put the niggers by the dump. That's what their attitude was, and
It was the Irish.
they weren't they were emancipated, but they didn't have the civil rights movement. So they grew up in these black ghettos, and when nobody in an area, when everybody is so deprived, and it's depravity on a level you wouldn't have witnessed because we're Irish.
It hasn't existed
And in
here
the course
since
of
maybe
this
the 30s.
conversation, we're covering 3 different subjects. There's American racism, then there's the Irish racism, which we all agree doesn't really exist to the level of either America or England. No. Because in England, it's a multi-generation, they've like 3 or 4 generations there.
No. It's not even that. It's an institutional thing as part of their culture.
Yeah, we don't have
They
that.
colonized the world.
Yeah,
the
we-
sun never sets in the British Empire.
And we're right next door, and we've been subject to
We've
it.
been the
like.
fucking heel underneath it. We've been
Yeah.
underneath the heel for a long time.
We were there before the bought-ins.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Christ.
So what's their excuse in France?
what?
What's their excuse in France?
They've no excuse in France to let them all in, and now France is running into big trouble again. Race issues.
So
yeah.
my point is, France has never really done anything on.
Oh no, France was a massive conqueror of the world as well.
Yeah, in recent years.
No, but they're still active in their colonies. Britain's lost nearly all its colonies. France still has active colonies.
Has it got any active colonies in Africa?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where?
Mali. Mali's that's a war at the minute.
Yeah.
French are fighting a war in Mali. They've been doing it for
And,
years. Algeria, Morocco was a French colony.
Morocco actually has the most fortified border in the world because there's a tiny bit of the EU on
Within
Moroccan
it,
soil.
yeah.
And it's like it's worse than the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea.
There's another
Like,
one in Cyprus.
maybe.
It's still between Europe and Turkey or something.
Okay,
There's
yeah.
a no man's land. Washington still hanging out in the lines, and cars still parked in driveways.
No way.
It's like a 10-kilometre strip, completely no man land. DMZs.
Oh. Didn't know about that.
I love stuff like that. It's cool.
So back to the topic.
Yes.
Um,
Trouble, people.
no, I don't know why we're making this a black and white issue either.
It's not a black
Because
and
you
white.
keep
It's not a
bringing
black and
up-
white.
You just keep
It's not a
bringing up-
black and white.
You keep bringing up colour.
But you,
No,
the thing was,
I didn't bring up colour.
What we were getting into though, what we actually had a
How
bit of
have
feed
you
on
not?
it and a bit of meat on was British black culture, which is completely different to the American, but there's still that taint of
Okay,
victimhood.
but, yeah, but see, the problem is we're totally skipping over the question.
Ask the question
we're-
again.
The question
skip-
was, are random searches acceptable as part of
No.
public safety? That's what-
No. The point that video was being shown to you guys was to show you that people are still claiming in the year 2021 that they're victims of something, and even this guy who had his son stabbed,
But they were
is
victims.
still so stupid to turn around and
Yeah,
say
he's stupid.
he's. Why is he doing that?
But he's a
putting
victim.
his son in danger
No,
by not being a responsible person, member of society.
yeah, but he was. I think he's trying. There's these people that are so anti-racist, they'll do anything. People, if the people have a cause,
Yeah.
there are people out there that will do anything for that cause. And people in TV studios want to get those people on air because they'll get something out of them, like we just shared.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, we have to be very careful, and it's something I wish everybody could understand was when somebody's making media, and they're not directly looking for money off you to watch it. You're the product.
Oh yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, but not a lot of people do, and they can't rationally break down media. But, what are you on about? That's a load of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the problem is, you look at people.
So
like
hard to
this,
get a serious discussion on it and get good material.
But you see, the fact of the matter is, does this guy have a genuine problem, or is he playing the race card for his victimhood status? That's
How
my
is
question.
he playing the race card when his own son was a
You
victim?
heard him playing the race
no,
card.
No.
He
His
said
son was a
white.
his son was stabbed 10 times.
By a black man.
His son was stabbed 10 times, and he's still not supportive of penal policing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He's for the cause.
Penal policing.
Yeah.
Penal policing.
Yeah.
Random stop and search is not penal policing.
It is.
It is.
No,
It
it's
is.
not.
It is.
There's no punishment
No.
involved.
It's not the
It's-
punishment. It's the violation of your rights.
Yeah.
That's what's penal.
We need to sacrifice some rights. For
No.
the rights of others. Yes,
I'd
we
be
do.
a firm believer that
Yes,
you
we
cannot
do.
trade liberty for security.
Absolutely.
Say that in an airport.
What?
Say that in an airport.
I will, and I do. And I think this is
Off you
bullshit
go.
every time I
Don't
take my
search
shoes
me
off.
at an airport.
No, it's
No,
bullshit
that's
every time I take
different.
my shoes off. That's for everybody's safety because the world got scared because a couple
And
of people
this is
robbed
for
planes on-
everybody's safety. It's the exact same scenario.
Yes, right. It's
except
for
on a
their
bigger
safety,
scale.
but the problem is
It's not for everybody's safety, though, by your own measure. You're saying it's
It
just
is,
for
it's
black
for
people.
his- no, it's for his
You're
son.
saying it's just for black people's safety because it's only black people that stab black people. That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying
And another
that.
thing I was
No,
gonna
no,
say
hold
here-
On, hold on a sec. No, wait. I didn't say that. Where
That's
did
what
I?
you're saying.
Where did I say
Wait
it's
a-
only
and
black
you read
people?
it out with the computer.
Say that again.
Exactly, it's
Say
not
that
me
again.
saying it.
You say it again.
'Cause you're saying it's not to save everybody. It's just to save black people from being stabbed by black people. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Right.
Never
But
said that.
who's going to save the people, right? It's the police. And you're putting the police. That's a massive task for them to undertake.
I'm not going to lie. It might be doctors and nurses that do more saving.
Yeah. They might save them some fucking working time.
They'll
But like,
save us from being victims of these
it will.
assholes.
It's
But
it's a
surely-
it's a different way
How
of
many
fighting.
white people get stabbed by black people?
I'm pretty sure the stats are very low.
So like, is it
Because they're not in the news. That's how I know they're low. Because if they were
Yeah.
if they were so high,
So it's not-
the Black Lives Matter would have used this as a trope long time ago, and they haven't because it doesn't exist. And of course, black people are stabbed by white people. Of course, that happens.
No. I said the other way around.
Sorry, yeah, I beg your pardon. White people are stabbed by black people. Black people are stabbed by white people.
Would
Yes.
would it be a
think
fair
the whole
thing to
thing's
say,
bullshit.
right? Like you said earlier about your postcode and where you're from.
Yes.
Would it be safe to say that just out of per million people, that there's going to be a background level of violence that's amongst common, normal, civilized society?
Oh,
where,
yeah,
where you have
absolutely.
jealous lovers killing each other, people getting violent and assaulting each other, drunks, family feuds.
Those that want to go to war.
There's like a background, like violent people.
The French Foreign Legion.
Not even that. I'm just talking about in the per million of a population
Yeah.
in this country. There's background violence. Let's just say it's at like 7. And then you zoom in on a postcode, and if that area was deprived, what's the word? If it had income inequality
Yeah.
within that area, that's where you see your
Oh, I agree.
demographic of
Yes.
criminal. Right? In England, there's these places, and it's the only thing you can draw a similar thing to America. There's big areas
Come
where.
here, the only reason you don't see that level of criminality in other areas is because those people feel they've more to lose if those people feel as if they've more to lose if they commit crime. So that's their fear. Whereas in places where people don't have much, they don't have that fear because they just see no great future for themselves.
Like they're born into a bleak life, and the first thing
Absolutely.
they see is young offenders around them, and think, well, I'll go be one of them because I'm not worth anything. I go to school, everybody's cleaner and nicer than me. I live a shit life. I'll associate with them.
And you also
And
know
they go off with that.
But you also know who the biggest overachievers in the UK are. Black people. Biggest overachievers. There's the man with the highest IQ, higher IQ than Albert Einstein, was a black kid because he was in those circumstances and overachieved.
Speaking
And
of Albert
actually-
Einstein, actually,
Black-
he didn't do guest lectures, right? But I think it was back in the 1940s. He did one guest lecture to a black university in, it might have been Louisiana. It was a segregated university. They invited him, and he went and gave it because he didn't believe in segregation.
Yeah.
So we have to go to a break, lads. But before we go to a break, Shane Greville said, freedom over health.
What?
Freedom over health.
Yeah, freedom at all costs.
No, he's talking about COVID.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but it doesn't matter. You trade away freedom, you're never getting it back.
And
And
Richie,
we've given away freedoms, and we're experiencing never giving them back because our government won't do what we need and keeping us locked down instead of doing the New Zealand approach, which will work perfectly for us.
But see, one big difference in that. Actually, we bring that into the second hour.
yeah,
because
we'll
I
go
know
into
you're
the break.
pushing for a
Yeah. Aisling also said the N-word, Richie.
Yeah, but I was paraphrasing the attitudes of the time.
Frank also texted in and he said, to say that the police don't pursue certain cases so as not to be seen as racist is spot on. In England, several rape gangs were let continue
Oh,
their
Rochester
abuse for
rape
years
gangs, yes.
without police involvement in the cases because of religion and race.
And they referred to them as Asian men.
Yes. They weren't even allowed to put out APBs for, let's say it was a Pakistani. They weren't allowed to put out an APB. It was a male.
Of Asian descent. That's all they could say.
That's
but
all they could say because it was just PC.
there was
gone
one
crazy.
story of one girl. She was thrown out after being raped, and on her way home ran into somebody, thought he was going to help her. He raped her as well.
Seen
And drove
that.
her back to the first guy.
Yeah.
That's how prolific the rapes were over there. Like.
And on the streets. They were just doing it on the streets.
'Cause-
But in saying that, we go to a break, lads, and we will be back in
Ghettos are bad
5
news,
minutes.
baby.
So, Billy, does your social media look like a teenager's bedroom? What? full of Justin Bieber posters.
No, you incompetent fool. Messy and unorganized.
Yeah, it kind of does. But what can I do about it?
Oh, poor simple Billy. Why not put all your social media in one convenient place?
But gee whiz, mister, how can I do that?
With Social QR, of course. It's easy, fast, and free.
But what's Social QR?
Well, Billy, I'm glad you asked. Social QR is a one-stop shop for personal and business social media users to have all your social media in one place. Easy to set up, easy to share, and fully customizable, with your own custom QR code suitable for digital and print media.
Jiminy crickets, so now it'll be as tidy as my web browser?
So don't forget, Billy, that's socialqr.xyz. And Billy, take down the Justin Bieber posters.
Aww.
Every day, Richie has to drive 2 miles to bum tobacco from his friends. With your generous donation of only $19.20 a week, Richie won't have to sponge from his friends. Text Richie to 521-034 2759126 so we can finally tell Richie to piss off.
From its rich traditions beginning when the first AM radio transmission was broadcast in the year 1900 to present day, where radio is still the most listened to form of media and the #1 source for people of all ages to enjoy their favorite music and discover new artists. Sure, the technology has changed, but the concept has stood the test of time throughout history. From the end of World War II,
General Eisenhower informs me that the forces of Germany have surrendered to the United Nations. The flags of freedom fly all over Europe.
to the falling of the Berlin Wall.
Our top story. The Iron Curtain between East Germany and West Berlin has come tumbling down.
To the U.S. entering the War on Terror.
None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world. Thank you. Good night, and God bless America.
Generations across the world are united by music as it transcends all language barriers. It brings everyone on planet Earth closer together. We at iStreamRadio.ie understand what radio has done for the world and would like to thank radio for its 100+ years of service. Radio has been here through thick and thin. Thank you, radio.
Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire. You will what you imagine. And at last, we create what you will. Don't wait for the right opportunity. Let us create it. When the virtual world of the internet, ideas, dreams, and concepts have become a reality, now is the time to bring your idea to the digital world. MilestoneMedia.ie offer a full range of digital services such as web development, hosting, audio, and visual services. Inspiration has a new platform. MilestoneMedia.ie. Experience the difference.
Tired of getting more screwed over than your cousin Jesse's pig? Sick of those uppity cowboys over at the Irish Insurance Federation? Is your vehicle being overpriced because it's undervalued? Does your annual quote leave you feeling sicker than the morning you woke up beside your sister? Well, leg it down to Leggett Insurance. Leggett Insurance is the answer to all your insurance needs. Bored off the road? No problem. Old lady turf you out and you gotta move your collection of lawn art? That's okay. Underage? Well, shit, that ain't your fault. Our unique style of cover provisions includes a real insurance disc to put in your windshield and the understanding that if something goes wrong, you use our groundbreaking policy. Run as fast as you can before anyone gets your wrench. The golden rule is to make sure you pick up any bits of your car left behind so you can't be identified. Your one-off payment of $29.99 annually provides all of the above. And for an additional $40, we provide you with a full windscreen worth in your very own Leggett disc holder. Just call us on 2800 Yeehaw! That's 2800 Yeehaw! Sail through that checkpoint today!
Itchy, smelly scrotum getting you down. Worried about ball sweat on the dance floor? Well, worry no more. New sandalwood and lavender scented Man Ponds has your nutsack covered. Our unique smell-inhibiting fibrous wadding ensures your most repugnant odors are kept to yourself. So next time she drops the hand, you can feel confident it's not into a vat of nut soup. And don't forget, you can be the sweetest smelling stud in the nursing home with new Man Ponds Twilight Edition for seniors. Order our economy size 86 pack today on manponds.org. Man Ponds, because you don't need to smell any worse.
The Supernatural Dogshit podcast is controversial and confrontational and may cause offense to some. Listener discretion is advised.
And you're very welcome back to the Supernatural Dogshit podcast. How are you, lads?
Oh, ask us how we are and then we can't reply. Shout out to Megan and JJ.
Okay.
They're sitting watching on the big screen. We'd rather you didn't watch it in couples. We want individual views, guys.
Yes, someone turn on their phone as well.
Exactly.
And both of you turn on your phones.
Yeah, go into the next room. Just get them fucking hits up. And like and share, lads. What's the story?
Well, nah, don't share. People
share. Just press the fucking share button. I tell you what I'll do. I'll give something away. Have I got something to give away?
You've coasters. Coasters.
No, they're not getting me fucking coasters.
Oh man, I really.
No, miserable bastards. They need to work for it.
Like coasters.
Ta-da!
Steal one for yourself.
You can actually, you could Steely Joe one for yourself.
5-finger discount, man.
There you go. That's going home with him.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Richie. Either way, they're useless in any way.
They're amazing.
Yeah, but we're changing the name, so.
I know, but
relics.
Where are we
it's
putting
part
this?
of the lore. It's part of the lore.
Oh, that'll be up on the wall somewhere.
Yeah, but not on camera.
Oh, it'll be on camera.
No, it's going to
Can't
have
be.
to be just behind the camera.
Probably.
No, it has to be on in shot. Because
What about
we
the
could do
ceiling?
a few bits.
The ceiling. Stick it on the ceiling.
Ooh.
No, I think we should have one wall we stick loads of shit to. And that could be the centerpiece.
No, because you're gonna have the new one in the centerpiece.
No.
And remember, it's going to be multi-angled cameras. So
What if you put it into the desk and then had like a smoked glass top on it?
Yeah, we can't do it. I can't be seen.
No, just put it up behind somebody.
Then it has to go in the jacks.
No,
No,
because
just on one of the firewalls. We'll have multiple stuffs.
what I was thinking was, the multiple stuffs. What I was thinking was, the hallway in our own private hallway.
Yeah.
Maybe in there.
Nah.
Yeah, no, it has to
In
be
the
somewhere.
control room.
Like it has to be somewhere that anyone who's in the studio will see it,
And they go,
but-
wow.
Yeah, but that isn't ever going to be part of the backdrop.
Exactly.
Do you know? So like, it's either going to be like
My God.
under the reception desk, in the hallway, in the jacks.
What are we going for with the new sign?
Can I also just say, we agree on something. It's unusual.
Yeah.
What about the new sign?
Yeah.
Another €1,400.
Are you going the same vein?
Well, something similar. Well,
Here, look. Give us a chance of making you a sign.
wait. Give us a chance of getting a name first.
Yeah.
We need to get a name first, lads.
Semi-dry.
I don't like it.
The Semi-dry podcast.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a dry podcast. Semi-dry. Every now and again, it's a little bit exciting, but the rest of the time, it's just semi-dry.
Well, you might get good guests on it.
They might be semi-dry guests as well.
Semi-dry.
Any more suggestions?
Okay.
Oh, wait, 5, 27, 27, 212. Yes?
Unfamiliar media.
No.
No, but like as a company name, like Unfamiliar Media.
No, well, I mean, the company is going through Milestone Media. Yeah.
I like Unfamiliar.
What about the Milestone podcast?
Yuck. I like the way we're brainstorming again on air.
Oh, sorry, everybody.
Yeah. If you do have any suggestions, please do text in or WhatsApp.
If anyone comes up with an actual suggestion that we end up calling the podcast, I'll give you my coaster.
There you go.
I'll give you a toaster.
And I'll give you a couple of pubic hairs. So, JJ text in. I don't know what this means. Hon the lads? Does that mean?
Yeah, Hon the lads. Hon the boys.
Hon. H-O-N.
Hon. Hop.
That's very redneck of you all.
You're so out of touch,
No, it's
man.
for moving cattle, like.
Yep.
Hon.
Yep.
I'm out of touch. What? Because I don't live on a fucking farm?
Yeah, you live in Boggerville.
We need to get Aiden on a farm. If you have a farm and you wouldn't mind Aiden wandering around for a bit after all the COVID shit, please let us know.
Frank Durgan just texted him one. Frank, I don't like him. I'm just going to say that out straight. But thanks for the effort.
What is it?
But it's not bad. But it's not the one, because I tell you how you know it's the one. Because the second you hear it, you go, "That's the one."
Yeah.
When that was said to me, I went, "Lads, that's just fucking amazing."
I went,
And now,
Yeah.
Now we're here changing it.
it's Frank says, "How about Fierce Mild Podcast?"
Oh, I love it.
Oh no, Fierce Mild Conversation.
No, Fierce Mild Podcast.
Fierce Mild. Just Fierce Mild is class, like.
It is.
Tommy Tiernan might come after you.
It's not Tommy Tiernan.
Who's
Dylan Moran.
Dylan Moran will come after you, yeah.
But it doesn't really, go across the pond, does it? Fierce Mild.
Fuck him.
There has to be a phrase that we use, like the likes of caution wet floor or slippy when wet, something like that. There has to be a phrase that is clever and it would suit a podcast.
I'm digging too.
Which?
I'm digging too.
What the hell is that?
Do you understand, is it?
Yeah. And it's
Is
the
Irish?
Yeah, it's Irish. It's Irish. Like.
Again, doesn't translate.
And it's the root for can you dig it?
Do you understand? I'm digging too.
It's the root for it, like.
Yeah, but does it sound like a podcast?
It does actually.
It does, but it sounds like a podcast. I just scroll past.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Yeah.
What about the "Oh Look at Me" podcast?
No, somebody did say something. The Great Escape. Was that?
Oh, what do you call a Dublin guy that breaks up fights?
Go on.
Liam Malone.
You must have heard that only very recently.
Yeah, I heard today. Liam Malone and blazing.
Yeah, so we best move on.
Yeah.
Rather than talking about the new studio. Should I show a picture of this new studio to the people?
No.
No.
No?
Leave them away.
It's like a surprise to them.
Well, we're going to make a whole video of us moving into it. They're going to see plenty of it.
Yeah, this is true.
Gonna make a montage.
Motherfucking montage.
Pierce getting fed up and walking out montages.
I'm not gonna lie. I really hope in the new studio there is actually space for me to get up and walk out if I want to. Because at the moment I have to barrel through Richie.
Here's the thing. And that's not going to be a very dramatic exit. You want a smooth exit, then slam.
I'm just gonna have to. Like, if I really want to get out, I'm just gonna have to stand up, pick up Richie and his chair, shuffle him under the desk, break the fucking microphone wire and out the door.
Or just go, "Excuse me."
He'll just have the nod and the wink. He'll get pure tick and he'll just look up at me. And I go, "Okay."
Yeah, I can see it. I can see the montage now for us putting the studio together, because like the amount of stuff that has to be brought up the stairs.
Push it to the limits.
Like 8x4 sheets of stuff.
Oh yeah, they're handy.
Manual labour.
I don't mind it.
Manual labour.
How many
thank you.
Wait, no,
If you just provide
I thought-
non-stop biscuits
I
and
thought this
tea,
is-
we'll do all the work.
I thought this is on the
Excellent.
fucking ground floor.
No, it's the second floor.
He was looking for the top floor.
Yeah.
Looking for the penthouse.
I was.
He
but
could have
the
had it, but it was fucked.
flooded. Like flooded.
And we're below that.
No, we're a bit away from it.
That's fine.
So yeah, but we're a good bit away from it. Actually, it has leaked down a little bit into our hallway, but the leak is being fixed, so not a big deal.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it doesn't come near us. The only thing is, we're on a separate electricity bill now. We have to pay our own electricity. Well, I
know, in fairness, like, you're only looking at fucking 10 hours a week of electricity.
I know, but I just don't trust the ESB.
Get a meter in, man.
They won't put it in.
Coin meter.
I don't think they'll put.
Could you imagine halfway through the show anyone got €2?
Like Mr. Bean with the telly.
Yeah.
They don't do coin meters anymore, do they?
No, you get your card now.
But that's not for businesses though. It's only for residential units. So it has to be a bill every month.
I don't think you ever got a coin as a business.
No, you wouldn't have. No, of course not. But I was actually on to Vodafone, the new Cyro crowd, asking them about broadband, because we have heavy usage of broadband.
Yeah, you're
and
streaming.
The fact that we're going to be taking calls over VoIP, which is over the internet.
Are you using Microsoft Teams now?
For?
Everything's switching to Microsoft Teams apparently.
Oh no, I not.
Skype's going.
Haven't even bothered using it.
Okay.
But why was I talking about this?
Because of bandwidth for internet.
Oh, the internet. I was talking about Cyro, and nowadays Cyro are offering 10,000 meg broadband.
You want to hear something really funny?
Go on.
They're all doing it because they're laying all brand new fucking the national broadband plan has been implemented. And
Yes.
About fucking time.
Yeah.
yeah, it's about time, and it's the wrong way, and it's costing billions. But
it's an amazing service.
But the problem is
Will it
everybody's
be? It won't be as good
selling
as
it.
South Korea. It won't be
Because
as good as South Korea.
Vodafone came knocking around my estate, and they were like, "Oh, we can bring in a brand new line," and I was like, "They're bringing in a new line anyway," and he went. It's the same line. I'm getting the same feed off it.
Well, see, my problem with this broadband was, I was like, 10,000 meg, that'd be awesome. We'd be like NASA around there. We'd be able to do lots of stuff. And he said, yeah, it's only €260 a month. I was like, for internet.
Yeah, that's because you're getting connected twice to the one of the strands coming out of the fibre optic cable. There's 12
And
strands.
it's
in it.
literally to the fibre optic. These days, it's all fibre optic. It's not fibre optic.
No, this is fibre optic.
It's fibre optic to the cabinet, and then it's copper cable to your house.
Now it's fibre optic.
Now this is fibre optic, and that's why they can achieve 10,000 meg.
Yeah, but the thing is,
speed.
It's fibre optic to the box now, but it's how many strands are you connected to? Most places is one strand back to the box.
Yeah.
Or two for your €1,000. That's all that is.
Well, you know the cables that are laid between Ireland and England for communication?
Mm.
You know there's like a big gas cable
Yeah.
down there? Do you know how big all of the phone calls, how many fibre optic cables does it take for all of the phone calls between Ireland and England?
24. No, yeah, it's one cable, but it's 24 strands.
No, it's one strand.
One strand.
strand carries a massive amount
Yeah.
of information. A ridiculous amount. And because you can send them on different frequencies, they don't clash into each other.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember when Ireland used to be the landing point from telecommunications from the US?
Yeah.
Out in the fucking west of Achill nearly, I think it was. or
Atlantic
something.
cable, yeah.
Yeah.
Were they?
Laid a cable
Yeah.
across the Atlantic.
Oh,
It was
it
done
Mayo?
many times.
Laid in across the entire
But
Atlantic.
that's how the
So
cable
that was done with
for
sailing
telegram and
ships.
stuff.
That was done with sailing ships.
Yeah.
The original telegram cable. The third attempt was successful. The two first attempts, and what they found was the wire was stretching as it was falling down, and the pressure of the sea on it caused the wire to stretch. And the effective communication, and what happened was as well, the type of wire they used corroded with the amount of electricity they'd send to receive a signal at the other end.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd send more and more, and it was breaking it down more and more faster, because the more signal it was losing, the more power they'd send, the more power they'd send, the faster the wire was cooking.
And is that still there now?
No, it's there.
Is there anything between us and the States?
Yeah, there's wire,
there's two
There's
or
hard
three
wire,
now. There's
yeah.
2 or 3 big hard wires now across the Atlantic.
And how big are they?
They're like
the size of the table.
Size of the table, and there's a ship just rolls them out.
Yeah.
And what's inside it?
Stuff that sharks like.
What?
That's one of the biggest issues to global to like wired communications, is that sharks like biting
Chewing on the
cables.
rubber.
Oh, but I'm assuming because there's a frequency coming from it, that because the ampullae of Lorenzini, their nose is quite sensitive to electrical
EMF.
fields.
Yeah.
So obviously, that's what they enjoy, chewing on that shit.
Yeah.
But I didn't realise there was still a big cable there that was in use.
Oh yeah, you should Google it, man. You have the laptop in front
But
of you.
is it a case that it's like lots of different cables inside?
Yeah,
it?
there's
Or
tons of shit in it now.
It's not just like one massive copper cable.
No, it's like sequence of copper cables, insulation,
Sequence
other
of
shit
shieldings
inside.
and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it takes massive power to move that signal across that wire that fast.
I would say so.
Well, if I can play Call of Duty in Ireland and against a guy in America, yeah.
Well, see, the good thing about fibre optic is, it's
terrible matchups.
It's light. So once you have
Speed of light communication.
yeah, it's speed of light communication. So once there's nothing blocking the light, you're good to go.
What's the speed of electricity?
I've often wondered that.
No, electricity is based on the resistance. It's the amps, it's the volts and the amps, and the ohms are what's choking it.
So it's all about
your
the
volts,
medium it's going through.
Yeah, like your volts are what pushes, your amps are the force going through, and then your ohms are your resistance. Yeah.
It's always an educational day on Supernatural Dogshit, or the podcast. Go on, say it, Richie. Say it, Richie.
What?
The
the podcast soon to be known as the podcast formerly known as Supernatural Dogshit.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Poor
Get
Prince.
that on a fucking coaster.
Poor Prince. He's the do you know, he's the only one of those type of singers that when he died, I went, because he was very talented.
Oh, he was.
Like he was a. Richie's rolling his eyes there. Is he not talented?
Any celebrity death, it's like, okay, yeah, but like...
No, I was like, it's a waste of talent.
But yeah, it's a waste of talent. But like, we're just people, we stop putting such massive value on people we don't know.
So why the hell? Oh, no, I was going to talk about the PTSD thing, but I won't. I won't go there. So we should go back into our topic, by the way, because this is only the second hour. and our fans, I'm pretty sure, are
I
hungry.
can see the leap Mr. Stretch Armstrong was trying to make there.
That's not going to stick, Richie.
Oh, no.
It won't when I, post-edit it out. And I replace you saying that something. I replace what you're saying with my voice, calling me something
Just
like
release a podcast
motherfucker.
of deep fakes.
Deep fake.
No.
Right.
The deep fake podcast. I'm pretty sure we won't. Not many
Taken.
people would. Yeah,
Some 12-year-old boy in America.
So, what about the Shallow Reel podcast?
Nah.
I'm just doing the polar opposite, man. Don't mind me.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You'll know when it's right. You know when it's right.
Shout out to the Band of Brothers. Just have to put out every show in case we have a new listener, which we probably don't. But you keep scaring them all away. But if it's dudes who are in bad mental health, we're looking for dudes who are in mental health. Look for dudes in general to get together on this page and look out for each other. Band of Brothers.
I actually forgot to join this. I'm actually.
Can I also say that if anybody is offended by anything that I say on the podcast, I would like to say from the bottom of my heart, fuck off.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize absolutely nobody.
So I tell you what I'm going to do, lads, because I don't know why I didn't do it, but I done it again this week.
What is it?
I didn't do something during the break. Full bladder here.
Oh no.
Yes, like I haven't peed since I left the house earlier.
You get out here and let us talk about you for a second.
Yeah, you do the whole mental health thing. Now don't go off talking about fucking cars or magical something or other lights that he's making at home. He's not even paying attention over there. Look at him.
He's joining the Band of Brothers Facebook page.
I just joined the Band of Brothers Facebook.
Only so you can mock them.
Oh yeah.
He's really a troll.
Yeah, because everybody's like you.
At one point, there was a group I was part of that had 48,000 members looking for active harm reduction advice about their own substance use.
Okay.
We had a team of moderators, about 20 strong, and it was a full-time job for all of us. We were split over time zones so that coverage would be consistent.
24 hours.
Yeah. And we were picked up by Vice, by Mixmag, and by a few others afterwards.
And what was it for?
For sesh safety was the name of it. For just staying safe on the sesh,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's actually I didn't know whether it was targeted. Like Richie's is obviously men's shed is targeted towards men.
Oh yeah,
I was just wondering,
this is purely on drug use,
Okay, yeah. That's fine. Well, you two continue there blabbing amongst each other, and I'm going to go for a peek.
He's a hard racist, isn't he? Oh my god, yes, he's horrible. I can't listen to him at all.
It's that tartan shirt. It brings it out in him.
It does. But he's lovely eyes.
If it wasn't for the eyes, I wouldn't sit across from him.
Man, remember Sminky Shorts? They died to death, didn't they?
I thought they just did their thing and they went on to a different project.
Yeah, I think they did, but it was great.
It was class.
Oh, you wanted with a bit of cheese.
Speaking of children's stories, cartoons and all that. Have you seen the BAE Industries?
Yes, you were told about it last week.
Oh shite! I ran out of stories. So
12 Tanks of Christmas. Crazy, but no, it's fucking hard to get a conversation going when he just needs to calm down.
He gets very riled up.
When you said income equality, he literally jumped out of his chair.
Oh, I know. As if obviously enough, fucking your circumstances
do dictate your outcome.
Oh yeah,
to some degree.
Yeah, no, they do.
Now there's always the exceptions to the rule, and there is the whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and people can pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
But in all fairness, you mean Elon Musk?
But it's like telling people how to learn how to code.
Elon Musk had a fucking apartheid emerald mine to build himself on. You know what I mean?
All his family are successful people. It's all down to their mother, Brahma.
Jeff Bezos started off with 300 grand to start a shop with. You mean? When you hear these stories of people pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, you really have to look at what kind of boots they're wearing.
Yeah.
By the way, technically impossible to do.
To pull yourself up by the bootstraps?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All you're doing is...
That's a nice way of saying pull it out of your ass.
Yeah, but it's not like you can literally lift yourself up off the floor by pulling up your bootstraps.
If you're strong enough, you can.
Thought I would point that out. You two continue there. I now have to...
Lift yourself up from the bottom.
I have to do personal business now. I have to get in touch with my drug dealer and get a 50 bag. You two work away.
Megan's sitting home going, dead right.
Actually, I'd like to show our listeners my new tattoo.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, do. Old Tokyogan.
Experience Tokyogan exclusively. That's the saddest big toe on planet Earth. The off-center
Please
mouth.
text in and let us
What
know if you think
cartoon?
that's ink shaming or ink praise and credit.
What cartoon had Plank in it? It's Plank.
Oh, fucking Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Yeah, it's Plank. Butter toasted gravy.
By the way, Frank texted in and he said, by the way, Aiden, your mirror will be ready for you for viewing tomorrow evening.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
No, it really is. There's so much going to be happening next week, lads.
What's the mirror?
happening. Tomorrow's
Frank
deep-
makes
deep-
mirrors, and
yeah.
shout out to Frank Durkin. We can't tell. He's making class mirrors.
Soon enough, we'll be able to give him a plug.
He's getting a business ready.
Yeah.
Does it have the name of the new podcast on it?
I don't know. It has.
No, but it's something nice for the wall of the new place.
Yes, and
Nice.
it's tripping, like it's trippy as fuck.
Savage.
He
class.
put effort into this. Fair play to you, Frank.
But in fairness, he puts effort into every little mirror project he does. I'm donating him a massive mirror.
Okay.
2 meters by 1 and a bit meter.
From the bathroom?
No, from me and my missus' bedroom.
Oh, okay.
I'm turning a mirror into a headboard.
Deadly.
So
you know what you're up to.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'll say nothing because I know Katie listens to the show.
Yeah, no, but there'll be no mirror glass in it.
Would you want to see yourself having sex? By the way,
Have
this
done,
is
yes.
nothing about mental
I
health. by the way.
always do the American Psycho Patrick Bateman point. I always do. I always do it. Anytime there's a
Wait, have you ever done this? Because I have. There's a mirror in the room. It's on the wardrobe, a little skinny one, and you can see yourself. It's doggy style, and you know,
it's doggy style.
You're plowing away, and then you look over to the mirror and you put your both hands up and go.
Yeah, I did that with the Patrick Bateman thing. That's the Patrick Bateman thing, but it's like anytime you're in a hotel.
Yes.
Or that one time where we moved the room and the mirror was beside the bed, but you have to. It's very funny. It's not funny the third or fourth time you do
Can
it.
I ask this question? Can I ask this next question?
I don't know.
Well, you can ask the
that's-
question. It doesn't mean you're going to get an answer.
That's just true.
No, see, I can ask the question, but regardless, you have to answer a particular way, or there's no way you'd get home tonight. Not get
Yeah,
home.
don't
but you wouldn't
ask
be
the
allowed.
question.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So maybe I can ask you, but
I don't know. I'm gonna answer. I don't know if I'm gonna answer this one.
At least we
okay,
can
you
hear
don't
the
have
question.
to give a name, but can you remember the
What?
best sex you've ever had?
Oh, yeah, easily.
Can you? The best.
Yeah.
That one time.
I don't know. It's down to a short
They
list.
all bleed into one another.
Unfortunately for your story, my best sex was with my wife.
Was it?
Yes. Be honest. Be honest.
See, this is why I didn't ask, because in case it wasn't Katie, and then she stabs you to death.
Yeah, because I can't lie. No.
It looks like you're saving grace, though.
No. Once I heard the question, I was like, no.
So it
No,
definitely
no.
was. Okay, no, then we won't pry into it anymore. But you can definitely remember that one night, can you?
I have it down to like 3.
That one night in Buenos Aires.
So
I've it down to like 3 occasions, and that's as much as you're going to hear about from me.
Oh.
I don't think I have a best sex story.
I doubt anybody's the best sex story involving you.
They have the funniest sex stories when it comes to me. Yeah, but I don't.
I'm sorry, you left yourself wide open for that one.
I leave myself open. I'm a vulnerable person, and you're just taking advantage of me. That's what you're doing. Hey, mental health.
Go get him, Pierce.
I did make the terrible mistake 2 or 3 times, by the way, while on air. I put my feet under the back of the chair like that and hook my feet around the legs.
No,
I
man.
don't know.
As part of ergonomics and work and health and safety and all that, we're told to keep your feet flat on the ground or you get back problems.
Yes, and you get clots in your legs. But
Okay, maybe that was it.
I've twice got my toe and bent it down on the floor, and I can feel the tattoo like ripping or bleeding because it's definitely wet in the sock.
Oh yeah, no, let it air out, baby.
Yeah, and that's a bacteria riddled area.
No, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have fungus and that and everything. Like,
you get
I mean, you could grow mushrooms in your blood.
Have you put him with pantomime?
Did you hear about your man that did that?
Grow mushrooms in your blood?
Happened, yeah. This dude, he had significant mental health issues. Like he was in a manic episode.
Did he inject spores?
No, he injected fully up fucking mushrooms. He put them into a fucking shot and
blended them and shot them in.
And they started growing in his blood apparently.
Well, yeah, because fungus can grow anywhere.
Yeah, so it started growing in his blood, and Bloomberg, actually, I was surprised by, did a really balanced article on the whole thing. Kind of went, this is fucked up. There is obviously good research coming out around psilocybin and different mental health issues like PTSD, depression, eating disorders, a lot of stuff like.
Yeah.
But just that, like, don't shoot up mushrooms.
Kind of sounds self-explanatory, doesn't it?
It's
Really?
like you may as well shoot up a hamburger, like.
Yeah, no.
It'd do less harm.
I know, but like he was in a manic episode, and his grasp on reality was disjointed. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so he obviously thought maybe with this it'd do super, and he'd be even better than, and it'd be quicker, and it'd take less and whatever. I don't know, but
It was a horrible case in a South
yeah,
African
brutal.
hospital. Young man, he was 26. He was brought in a motorbike accident and very badly damaged right leg. So they put him in, the cage with all the pins. So it's basically like a support frame that holds your bone back together till it grows back together.
Yeah.
And he was post-op. He was in the recovery room and he came to, but he had some random allergy to the pain medication. And it caused him to have a full-on psychotic episode. But during his manic psychotic episode, he still couldn't feel any pain from the anesthesia. He woke up in a dissociated state. He attacked 2 other people in the recovery room that were unconscious, 6 or 7 nurses. Bet off the only 2 security guards the hospital had is in a South African hospital.
But he had a big, massive cage in his leg, and
which
it
he
didn't feel
tried to
pain.
remove
Really?
in his dissociated state. So they eventually came and tranked him,
Oh, yeah.
got him under. He woke up about a week later. They had to remove the leg. It was gone, but there was a video of him trying to walk around on it, and it was all hanging apart. And he was in this crazy state, like rambling, blah, blah, blah.
And what was wrong with him?
He was allergic to something in the anesthesia.
He had a negative reaction to
random
one of the
one-off
components.
case.
But he wasn't.
He had a complete psychological break. He wasn't speaking. He was blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but so he was before this happened to him. He was.
He was a
perfectly normal.
very normal, nice guy.
Oh.
Just happened to be in a motorbike accident that morning. Had surgery that afternoon.
Jesus.
And then around 7 o'clock in the evening, was starting to come to in recovery, and some of the drugs hadn't worn off, and these other drugs were still having an effect on him. So he couldn't feel any pain, and he went insane and attacked a ton of people, like really hurt a lot of people, and then ripped his leg apart.
Isn't it amazing that simple chemical imbalance in the brain can make you
Led to that
behave that
situation.
way?
Well, that's all. That's all the brain is like.
A
I mean,
chemical-
like
yeah.
you can say that we're conscious and we are ourselves, but we haven't been able to isolate where that exists.
No, and it's
all we can say that it responds to a collection of electrical signals, like,
Yeah,
and I mean,
which is a chemical
Chemically go in
reaction.
and turn them all
yeah,
off.
yeah. Like, I mean, a light bulb has more energy flowing through it at the same than the brain, like.
Yeah, it's amazing that we actually run on electricity.
Yeah, but a super low current.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying, like, there's more fucking power going through a light bulb, like.
Yeah, but it's biological electrical information, which is completely different. It's way more intelligent than your fiber optics.
Okay.
You know how much information a strand of fiber optic.
But that's still all binary, like.
Oh, it's binary, but
you know what I mean. But like
the way a natural organism can process that information is
com-
class.
No, but like in the human mind, it's not binary. It's quantum.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
Like,
what I
it's
mean? It's
the
different.
level of connection is.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing with computers. We're mimicking our own.
We're doing our
brains.
best anyway.
We're
Yeah.
yeah.
Does Shane Greville just randomly text things in that mean nothing?
No, why? What did he say? Everything means something. Go on.
He was possessed by Pindar.
Oh, all hail Pindar.
All hell Pindar?
Yes, the dragon's penis, Pindar.
Pindar?
The dragon's.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
all
that's
hail.
perfectly acceptable to all hail Pindar with the Nazi salute. It's the thing.
What?
It's the thing me and Grev have an understanding of.
Okay.
Right.
Fair enough. By the way, Teresa did text in as well, and she said, "Hold the pinkies up, lads, when you're drinking out of your fancy glasses."
Oh, will we explain why it's our fancy glass night?
You can work away.
Okay, it's the fancy glass night because it's our last night in this studio, and I seen the glasses over there, and they were manky dirty. But sure, we washed them out with the first
clean
drink.
now, yeah. They are clean now. Let's move back on to mental health, lads, so we can have the crack at the end of the hour. At the next
Let's
hour.
just keep having the crack.
No, we can't. 'Cause it's just we haven't wrapped up. We have never come to a conclusion. We need to start practicing this.
What
shit.
are we wrapping up at?
I don't
We
know.
have to go back to the knife crime.
We barely touched on it.
Right, before we go into the knife crime.
Because hold on, just mental health is really important, and there's so many things that he wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah.
And that I want you to open up, because you said to me, I want to talk about X, Y, and Z on the show.
Yeah,
and I went,
yeah.
yeah, no problem at all. We'll talk about that. So, Pierce, the floor is yours.
Right. Okay, because I've had so much time to prepare for this. I got so much notice about it. But I want to chat about recovery.
Recovery from what?
Let's say, like, recovery from different things. So you can have recovery from drug addiction, from depression, from psychosis, from a traumatic event. You can have recovery from all these cataclysmically crisis things.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying words right, but anyway, that like recovery is always possible. And
Always possible.
Recovery is always possible.
Did somebody say this to me about heroin recently? In relation to recovering from heroin, you can recover from heroin?
Yes.
Of course you can, yeah.
One of you guys said that to me, was it?
Yeah.
Yes, cocaine is the hardest to recover from.
So, but does drugs not do permanent damage to your brain?
The brain has an amazing ability to recover.
But the problem with heroin is it's not the heroin that's damaged your brain, it's the lack of breathing has damaged your brain.
Yeah.
So it's the oxygen.
It's the oxygen starvation and the contaminants and adulterants within junkie shots. You know, they're like, if you look at the prevalence of crocodile.
So why are they so brain dead then?
Because maybe these people weren't the best
you've
nurtured people their whole lives.
I've seen some amazing people turn into, what's blazing hard.
Yeah, because how are they feeding themselves? How are they...
No, but not even that, but like it becomes... So let's say you hang around with a bunch of metalheads. You start talking like a metalhead. You start having that gruffness about you and that fucking... Don't give a fuck.
Man. Yeah. Pin there.
But like, Jesus.
No. It's pin there. It's the limp dragon's penis.
Okay, I'm getting you a red hat.
Does it say MAGA on it?
Probably.
Yeah.
We'll get Amiga.
Make Ireland great again.
But anyway.
No, make Ireland great already. Come on. It's been a while.
It's been never.
So like anyone that knows me knows that during my 20s I was a fucking mess. Like I was an absolute fucking mess.
Did you run up massive tabs with drug dealers and run away from them all the time?
No,
you weren't too bad. So
no, you weren't too bad. I know people who have fallen into that.
I had to relearn the order of the days of the week.
Really?
Yes.
How long were you under?
Oh, a few years, like.
But like how long? How many years? You'd know.
4.5.
Of just hand-to-mouth drug taking.
No, it was intermittent with fucking...
But you were in the same headspace for 4 years of this.
Yeah. Or I was in like recovery trying to remember the days of the week, like. And then as soon as I was like better, I was like, nah, fuck it, go again.
Isn't it amazing when you're in that position? You know, the year disappears and you can't remember the year. You're like, did I do anything this year?
Oh, sure, I felt like it was fucking February for 5 months. I was convinced it was still February, like.
Okay, what were you taking?
A lot of that fucking head shop shite.
Example?
Oh, yeah, BZP.
Mephedrone. No, mephedrone, 4-MMC.
What's mephedrone?
Mephedrone was like one of the big legal highs. It was like under different brand names like Plan B, Wildcard.
Was that what 2CB was?
No, 2CB is different. 2CB is a psychedelic, whereas...
Mephedrone, was that the pink stuff?
It's meant to be white. It's a cathinone. It's based similar to... did you ever hear of chat?
Yes.
It's like a leaf on a twig.
Is it gat or chat?
No, chat. CHAT.
Oh.
It used to be able to get it in herds.
Okay.
And it's like an African bush, but the leaf has a stimulant in it. And you can chew on the leaf the same way you can chew on a coca leaf.
Right.
And get a little bit of buzz
so
off it.
chewing gat works as well. Like it's like a stem.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a root. You chew it.
Okay.
You can get high as fuck.
Right.
African as well.
So back to your recovery thing.
Yeah. That recovery is always possible, and the worst enemy to it is losing hope. Because as soon as you lose hope, you'll slip back into negative behaviors.
Yeah.
And
fuck it. Do it.
Yeah, you'll just be like, look, this is not going to get better, or there is no fucking future, or whatever else. And as soon as you give into that type of thinking, you're back on the fucking train again, like, and you will, it'll just.
Do you believe that there is hope for everybody? Everybody.
Yeah, by and large.
Let's include criminals in that.
No, see, like, you're already trying to fucking steer away from. You're already trying.
No, because you said there's recovery. You're talking about recovery. Can you not?
I'm talking about recovery from severe mental health issues. You want me to talk about mental health? You're not fucking railroading
the
me.
reason why I'm bringing this up is because of the kids earlier. You know, I mean, we were saying about coming up in bad areas and the fact that, you know, this is foisted upon them.
What about, did you ever see the film Coach Carter?
Yes.
There you go. It's based on a true story.
Okay.
A lot of those kids were like destined, as far as the principal was concerned, never to finish school.
Mm-hmm.
And however many of them went on to fucking not only finish the school,
MBA, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that was because there was a strong male influence that took no shit, put everybody in the place in their line.
But also gave them respect.
Gave them respect. It taught them everything.
And taught them their own self-respect.
Yeah. And being bothered by the police every week isn't going to do that.
No.
It's going to further embolden them. And it's going to put police
But
in
it
danger.
ghettoises them. It ghettoises them mentally. Like, as
Yeah.
you said, it's an open prison.
Open air prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do we not all live in the same prison?
No.
We're just on the
no.
opposite side of the
No,
bars.
because of your postcode.
Ah, Dart.
We're on the opposite side of the
No,
bars, that's all.
that's
No,
shite
yeah,
banter.
no,
so
I
it is.
understand.
No. The guards aren't targeting white people in this. They're targeting black
That's
people
what he's
because
saying,
that's
we're on
the
the other
MO.
side, like.
Yes.
They're the offending party, and they're the party that are under the microscope.
And they should be. They
But
should be.
By nature of doing that, you're going to further increase the problem.
No, I'm going to say that people on like Wall Street and stuff should be fucking under the most scrutiny.
Why do you always pick on the big guys?
Because the big guys get to do it blanket indiscriminate and get away
No,
with
they
it.
don't.
No,
I'm
they
only
do.
talking
No, they
about it.
don't.
I'm only talking about it because it's so much in the news now at the moment.
Yeah, and
Because
with
of
how-
GameStop.
And
Did you see that?
Yeah.
No, but hold on. What's happening with these big bankers is they're getting caught and they're going to prison.
No.
No, they're
They
not.
are. There has been 3 bankers sent to prison in this country.
Yeah, you know what they're called? Scapegoats.
Yeah. They're still going to prison.
Poor old Jimmy's trying to pal around the big boys. We're
There's
going to sell them down the river and
Dude,
save our
go
own
up to the
skin.
courthouse here and you watch the amount of assholes who will go in front of the guards. In front of the judge. Who the judge, again, it's the scallywag thing. You know, they're looking at them going, you've been here a million times, off you go. They're getting away with it too.
Yeah, but that's different than people when they engage in
The
business.
law should be blanket.
The law is blanket to those who appear before the courts.
Absolutely.
It's all about getting them there in front of the court.
Absolutely. And it's the guard's job to get them in front of the court. If they witness somebody who could potentially be committing a crime or carrying a weapon, they should be afforded the option to search them.
Oh yeah, and they will be, right? But they're not going to go knocking around Balls Bridge this evening. They're not going to go down Embassy Street. And they're not going to be doing...
Why would they? It's not a high crime area.
No. But there's people living there that commit the biggest crimes.
And when they get caught, they go to prison.
No, they don't. The
Yes, they
government
do.
tries to argue in their favour to save Apple 19 billion.
No, they do. They go to prison.
13 and don't think they live in Dublin.
No, but you know that that type of shit's going on.
Oh,
It's-
yeah, no.
it's-
Most of these big cases hit the newspapers. And
Yeah,
when
you're-
as soon as they hit the newspapers,
But,
there's
the other-
social outcry.
But the other side of that is, per capita, we have a higher rate of corporation tax intake than Germany.
Yeah.
Even though we've super low rates for these massive companies.
Because there's so many of them based here now.
No, it's because we've only fucking 4 million people.
Yeah, and we've so many of these companies
Yeah.
based here, it's offset per capita.
Yeah.
Which would point to a tax haven or something.
What's that?
What's that? But did you know...
Go on.
Are you on your
Who's-
fucking phone?
There's a scheme.
Drugs.
There's a scheme, right, where people can purchase residency in Ireland.
Right.
If you have 500 grand or something.
Yeah, by donating a lot of money to local causes. And 1,100 Chinese billionaires are coming to Ireland.
I'm okay with that.
Remember they wanted...
Well, they didn't get knocked in.
Didn't get knocked in. They were trying to... They're looking for somewhere to build a city for all
They were
these
trying
Hong
to-
Kongers. But there's also... The Chinese government are involved with this, so they're also trying to get Chinese people over here. But like... But this is what they're doing everywhere. It's called the New Silk Road. I was watching a great thing on Vice about it. Because Vice will be fair in their approach to China because they recognise the threat, but they're so PC that they know how to deliver you the news without coming off as racist.
Well, he was saying earlier that it's all about...
That's fair and balanced
we
reporting.
we were talking about recovery.
Yeah.
You know, and I had brought up the fact about these young kids because are they not entitled to recovery as well?
100%. And that's why...
And that's why I asked you the question.
Yeah.
Criminals. They're technically they're criminals. So is everybody afforded the opportunity to recover?
People are not.
No.
People are not given the opportunity.
So
there's definitely opportunities I got that others wouldn't get.
Yeah.
Like
But in your opinion,
Like,
who should be excluded from given the opportunity to recover?
Nobody.
No.
Unless
they're guilty of like a serious crime, like
heinous crimes,
like if you've stabbed people, say, "Oh, I don't want to be a knife crime offender." That's good, but you can do that in prison. You're going to jail if you stab somebody.
But I think but prisons should be more recovery based. like.
Yes, and I'm 100% behind that.
Do you know?
100% behind that. I only recently watched a documentary there about the Joy.
Yeah.
As a 3-4 part episode, series. It's very interesting because
my only gripe with prison is the amount of people that are in there for drug crimes and like not paying their
And
TV
TV
licenses.
licenses.
That shit needs to stop. It should be a place for violent people, so that when you're putting people into that
You're
system, it's only people that can be
short
rehabilitated.
sentences. That's the answer. Short. Get rid of short sentences.
Well,
if you go to court for not paying a fine for a TV license, don't be sending them to prison because that costs money.
If you're being excluded from society, and that's what a prison is, it's secluding you from society.
That's punishment.
But but Like, there has to be a fucking good reason for it. Like, and I don't feel that, like...
Paedophilia, sexual assault, murder, stabbing, violent crime. Definitely.
Armed robbery. Like.
But then for like white collar crimes, I think it should be community service. As in, that banker from KPMG now has to sweep the streets for a year.
I totally agree with you.
And get a pittance of a wage for it and live
and
a
have
normal
every
life.
asset frozen.
Or cab come in and take his life away from him.
Yeah.
That's way worse than prison for him.
Well, let me ask you a question, Pierce. Do you think that a guy who commits white collar crime like the banker should go to prison or out sweeping the streets?
Definitely something with a bit more fucking public, public interaction, like sweeping the streets, or something to
delivering meals on wheels, something to show them how to be a human.
Exactly. Like I don't believe in fully punitive measures. Like,
but it's only for 1 year.
Yeah, I know. No, but I think a year's a bit short.
Year's a long time when you're high flying. Like,
I don't
but see,
care.
you're so down on the bankers. Like earlier on, you jumped in. But what about the bankers? Blah 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 blah. So if you're so down on the bankers, why don't you just send them to prison?
Because it's not the place for them.
Well, it's not even that. Like, I
agree. I'm being devil's advocate.
I just think they're going to fucking network. And when they come back out, they're going to set up backroom deals with fucking HSBC or whoever.
Like, if the concept of prison is to take the time of your life away from
By the way, they were convicted. That's why I mentioned them on air. It's proven. It's
I know,
not,
yeah.
It's not, no defamation.
Sorry, Richie.
Right, but these high-flying people, that they just have this entitlement about them. They're the apex of the pyramid. Nobody's better than them. And I think if you take... Now, I'm not putting down anybody who sweeps the streets for a living. I clean cars for a living. I don't cast judgment on what anybody does for a living. They're doing something and making money.
Yeah.
Not going to kick them for whatever they're doing. Like,
but see,
even if it's nefarious, I don't care. But when someone gets to such a position of power and privilege, and they're head of a company, and that company's operating, what's the word, with no morals or ethics?
Badly.
Yeah, badly. Like, prison for him, like,
Get out the thesaurus there.
You'd spend millions trying to get him into a jail, and he'd find some way out quickly. But if there was a set punishment...
Even if he didn't, he'd find some way to network his life into a better position within prison, because those type of people are very good at making deals, at organising, at brokering. Like, that's their job.
Prison's a business as well.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying to you, if you gave him a thing where you put him in a social position where he had to work for people, no matter if it was sweeping the streets, feeding people, fishing plastic bags out of the canal, and he used to do it for a fixed period of time on a fixed income, and all his assets are seized. It's like exile, and he does it far away from where he lives, and he has to wear a thing around his ankle, and he can't leave his little pre-programmed routine.
Just to play devil's advocate on what you said there as well, you said you used the word entitlement.
Yes.
You know, these guys have a certain level of entitlement about them.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. But do you not see that on the other side of the spectrum, there's a level of entitlement with the poorest in this country?
Oh, yes.
And they display the same sort of selfishness.
Yes. But what I'm saying to you is...
But that's because people are people.
The people are people.
So how can we... If people are just people, then can we blame the bankers?
Yes.
Yeah, you can
because
blame...
they're from a position of privilege.
No, you can...
You can't blame people that grow up undernourished, undereducated, underparented, underfunded. Everything their whole life is under. Like, we're coming back to income inequality.
I can blame them.
You can blame away, right? But I'm talking about
people
what
have
happens to people.
for their own actions.
People are responsible for their own actions, but if their own actions is just them living an unfulfilling shit, reciprocal life of what their parents had lived for them.
Go out and make a better life for yourself.
You can, but some people don't. They just like
sitting there. And whose fault is that?
Their own.
Exactly.
Right?
So why should we pay for it?
Because they're not going around and making us pay for massive bills for projects they ran into, like housing bubbles and stuff like that. People knew what they were doing when they did it.
No, they're just breaking into our homes and robbing our jewellery to feed their drug habit.
No, but that's a different thing again. You can't say everybody in social welfare is a drug addict, house burglar.
No, I can't, and you're dead right. I shouldn't have made that comparison.
No, definitely not.
It was such a reach again.
No, I shouldn't have made a comparison because for some reason I just was thinking of drug dealers in my head. Not drug dealers, drug users.
Drug users. Drug
Probably
dealers
the fact
don't
that I
have
was
shit.
looking for a bag of weed.
But people breaking into people's homes, man, that's a whole different thing than people just trying to... Like, the problem is when you get a single woman who has more than one child, she is so hard to employ.
But you're justifying crime.
I'm not justifying crime. I'm justifying looking after people with social welfare schemes. I'm talking about the social welfare. I'm talking about single mothers that if they've more than one child, they can't work.
I know that, but Richie,
it's economically not viable for them.
You were the one who turned around and said, it's not their fault because of this. So when they grow up to do this, that is the reason why.
No. You
said that is the reason why. Therefore, it's an excuse.
I wasn't talking about crime. I was talking specifically about social welfare to lead me into crime, right? I'm just talking about you've a woman. She's more than one child. She's on her own with that child. She can't work, right?
Okay.
She is reliant on the social welfare, right? But they don't want to give her a damn penny because you're just another scrounging young fucking mother, right? And just say she's 2 or 3 kids and the boys go out and play and she's stuck at home all the time. She gets into this routine and this life where she can't do anything until her youngest child's 18th birthday.
Okay.
They live in this mental cage because it's their only form of security and stability, and it's a shit existence. And people in this existence in England in the last 4 years, thanks to universal credit, are literally starving to death.
Universal credit's a terrible
it's
system.
so bad. Like.
There seems to be some fans of it, though.
Tories.
Jinx.
It's a shit can, and that's further dry. Poverty leads to crime. Always has, always will.
Yeah, I understand that. So if poverty leads to crime, you're still giving them an out, because as you said earlier,
to a degree, it is an out, right? It's a cop out, but it's not fair on them, and it's not fair on their victims.
Okay, it's not fair on them, but most people who are a lot of people who get themselves out of that situation, I've seen people who have come out of shitty areas and be super successful, and you're like, well done. So we have to go
right. But if you see someone from a nice area and they've done shitty, don't you judge them twice as hard?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
But what is the difference between this guy who took himself out of, say, a bad area like Ballyfermot or something like that? He goes, I've had enough of the drugs here.
Excuse you?
I'm going to get myself a nice job, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So psychologically, what's different between him and Johnny Scumbag down the road who doesn't make the same choices? What's the difference?
Johnny Scumbag down the road never had the virtues or things instilled in him. Nobody believed in him or helped him or showed him the way.
To get from point A to point B, you need to build stepping stones, right? So for me in my recovery, there was one accepting I'm fucked. And then realising, right, I don't want to be this way anymore, so I'm going to try and get my head straight. And then I get my head straight, I'm like, right, I need to do something because I'm sick of fucking sitting around failing college. It's boring me. It's destroying me.
What, after 9 years?
Yeah. Well, no, this is before that.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I mean? You had done your burnout party phase.
Yeah. And you're sitting around kind of going, I've gotten fucking nowhere. I'm seeing fucking people I started college with graduating and starting their careers, and I'm still pricking around in first year. You start to feel left behind.
That's growing up, though.
It is growing up. It's like,
you realise you couldn't be a child forever.
Yeah, when you hit rock bottom, you have to accept the humiliation of your own circumstance in order to overcome it. Otherwise, you can still get buried deeper within it.
Yeah, but from what I said earlier, what's the difference between those two lads?
One seen the stepping stones to progress, the other one couldn't
let me
make
finish.
that first step.
Let me finish. Let's say they had identical upbringings. Parents are assholes.
These fucking identical.
No,
shite.
parents are. No, the reason why I'm saying it is because this happens. It happens that there's a kid who father beats the shit out of it.
Yeah, that's just human diversity as well. Not everybody's the same.
Okay, and this is what I'm trying to figure out. This is a very specific question. So he has been the shit kicked out of him, but he makes a decision. There's a decision going, I'm never going to beat my kids. I'm going to be a good daddy. I'm going to make money. I'm going to do this, that, and the other. He makes them decisions. So at what point does he make that decision, and how did he make that decision and the other guy didn't?
At some point, he realised he wanted to make change. He wanted to make positive impact on his own life and the life of others, and set about doing that with every little task.
And see, that's the reason why I'm asking, because if we could figure out the why he did it, then we could get him to do it too.
You can bring a horse to water, is all I can say.
But the thing is,
people will not change until they want to. You cannot force an addict into recovery.
No, I know that.
You know?
Yeah. What were you saying, Richie?
You'll see, the problem is, in areas like that where there's income inequality, there's always a higher police presence.
Yes.
And there's always a higher availability of the wrong thing to do over the right thing to do. Whereas
there's always bigger speed bumps as well.
Yeah. There is, for chases and chicanes.
Yeah, they'll have way more traffic calming devices, which actually puts higher wear and tear on the ordinary person's vehicle living in those areas, and further reduces the value they get from the paycheck.
Yeah.
It's designed to constantly keep you.
Go on, finish what you're saying.
But It's
expensive
across
to be
the
poor.
board, Aiden.
What is?
Good and bad people. It's across the board. But
Yeah,
when
but-
the opportunities are more available and abundant in one area and one way of life is more visible, that's what is people are going to naturally incline to what they grow up around.
Yeah, well, see, the reason why I'm asking this is because, I went to school and my best friend in school, his name was Robert Claddingbow. Now, he was...
That is a fucking pair of plums.
That's
like.
an awesome name. But he was the nerd of the class, and I was the...
He'd want to be with a name like that.
The big bad bully. But he paired up with me, so I protected him and he done my homework for me. So that type of thing.
Okay.
But in the same class, I had... Now, his mother and father were assholes. They done terrible things on my wall and won't ever fucking say on air what happened. But he turned out to be an amazing person. I also know another
He already
lad-
was.
I also know another lad who I was in school with. His parents were something similar, bit different, and he ended up on drugs, being a thief, everything wrong that goes with it, he became. And both of them had very similar upbringings, and I'm going, it's a shame you didn't take that decision. Why didn't you take that? What has he got that you don't have?
Character.
Again, is it that weakness thing?
No, it's just people, man.
But surely you have to be weak to turn to crime.
No. Strong people commit crime too. Crime is just some people just weigh up the option and go for it. Start small.
If you look at morality, what you're talking about there is morality.
Yeah.
Why do people choose this option over that option? You have to look at the fact that society imposes rules on us. We can see some rules as being reasonable, don't murder. We can see some other rules being kind of silly. I'm trying to think of a clear-cut example.
Like paying the car tax versus stabbing somebody.
Well,
Or parking on the white line in the parking spot.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking...
It's a spectrum.
Yeah. So some people will commit petty crime like shoplifting or whatever because they're kind of like this, fucking Tesco, whoever. They're not really going to feel the fucking impact of it. Whereas, they might not steal from a small shop where they know the owner because they're kind of going, that's taken directly from that person's pocket.
Could be. We have a couple of messages in here. It's Ash has said, it's nature over nurture thing. Yeah, probably. Shane has said, my right leg is bigger than my left leg, and I've just realised.
One-legged squats.
Shane also says, Wall Street. And then he also says again, they should be executed. I'm assuming he's talking about the bankers thing.
Yes.
Yes, he must be, because we know that Grev is no friend of the bankers.
Grev is no friend of no man.
No, he's not. And on that note, we're going to go into an ad break.
So, Billy, does your social media look like a teenager's bedroom?
What? Full of Justin Bieber posters?
No, you incompetent fool. Messy and unorganized.
Yeah, it kind of does. But what can I do about it?
Oh, poor simple Billy. Why not put all your social media in one convenient place?
But gee whiz, mister, how can I do that?
With Social QR, of course. It's easy, fast, and free.
But what's Social QR?
Well, Billy, I'm glad you asked. Social QR is a one-stop shop for personal and business social media users to have all your social media in one place. Easy to set up, easy to share, and fully customizable, with your own custom QR code suitable for digital and print media.
Jiminy crickets, so now it'll be as tidy as my web browser?
So don't forget, Billy, that's socialqr.xyz. And Billy, take down the Justin Bieber posters.
Aww.
Every day, Richie has to drive 2 miles to bum tobacco from his friends. With your generous donation of only $19.20 a week, Richie won't have to sponge from his friends. Text Richie to 521034 to 759126089 so we can finally tell Richie to piss off.
From its rich traditions beginning when the first AM radio transmission was broadcast in the year 1900 to present day, where radio is still the most listened to form of media and the number one source for people of all ages to enjoy their favorite music and discover new artists. Sure, the technology has changed, but the concept has stood the test of time throughout history. From the end of World War II,
General Eisenhower informs me that the forces of Germany have surrendered to the United Nations. The flags of freedom fly all over Europe.
to the falling of the Berlin Wall.
Our top story. The Iron Curtain between East Germany and West Berlin has come tumbling down.
To the U.S. entering the War on Terror.
None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world. Thank you. Good night, and God bless America.
Generations across the world are united by music as it transcends all language barriers. It brings everyone on planet Earth closer together. We at iStreamRadio.ie understand what radio has done for the world and would like to thank radio for its 100-plus years of service. Radio has been here through thick and thin. Thank you, radio.
Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire. You will what you imagine. And at last, we create what you will. Don't wait for the right opportunity. Let us create it. When the virtual world of the internet, ideas, dreams, and concepts have become a reality, now is the time to bring your idea to the digital world. MilestoneMedia.ie offer a full range of digital services such as web development, hosting, audio, and visual services. Inspiration has a new platform. MilestoneMedia.ie. Experience the difference.
Tired of getting more screwed over than your cousin Jesse's pig? Sick of those uppity cowboys over at the Irish Insurance Federation? Is your vehicle being overpriced because it's undervalued? Does your annual quote leave you feeling sicker than the morning you woke up beside your sister? Well, leg it down to Leggett Insurance. Leggett Insurance is the answer to all your insurance needs. Bored off the road? No problem. Old lady turf you out and you gotta move your collection of lawn art? That's okay. Underage? Well, shit, that ain't your fault. Our unique style of cover provisions includes a real insurance disc to put in your windshield and the understanding that if something goes wrong, you use our groundbreaking policy. Run as fast as you can before anyone gets your wrench. The golden rule is to make sure you pick up any bits of your car left behind so you can't be identified. Your one-off payment of $29.99 annually provides all of the above. And for an additional $40, we provide you with a full windscreen worth in your very own Leggett disc holder. Just call us on 2800 Yeehaw! That's 2800 Yeehaw! Sail through that checkpoint today!
Itchy, smelly scrotum getting you down. Worried about ball sweat on the dance floor? Well, worry no more. New sandalwood and lavender scented Man Ponds has your nutsack covered. Our unique smell-inhibiting fibrous wadding ensures your most repugnant odors are kept to yourself. So next time she drops the hand, you can feel confident it's not into a vat of nut soup. And don't forget, you can be the sweetest smelling stud in the nursing home with new Man Ponds Twilight Edition for seniors. Order our economy size 86 pack today on manponds.org. Man Ponds, because you don't need to smell any worse.
The Supernatural Dogshit podcast is controversial and confrontational and may cause offense to some. Listener discretion is advised.
And you're very welcome back to the Supernatural Dogshit podcast, or the Podfather podcast. The Podfather.
That is our new name, folks. We have a new name.
Yes, now we should say how we led into figuring out this name.
Thank you, Derek Doyle.
So Derek, my brother, has been sending over tons of logos and name suggestions and stuff like that. And we were looking through them and we were going, yeah. And then I got down to Pod Monster. And for some reason, Richie just went, oh, Podfather.
I had such a brain fart.
Oh, Podfather podcast. I like
it.
it.
The Podfather podcast. And we're going to be Part 3 because it's our new studio.
The Podfather. Well, I mean, we can do hilarious ads with that.
Now, we're not going to make the mistake we made with the last one. We're not going to promise to stay in the studio forever.
No, I signed a 3-year fucking contract.
Yeah, but look.
Jesus.
Yeah. 3 years.
How much of that are we actually like fixed to be there?
What?
How much?
3 years.
No, but like you, how much lease did you fucking fix us to there for?
3 years.
All right.
Yeah. No, I insisted on that.
Why?
Because I'm not putting all that money into the place and in a year's time them want to renegotiate rates and stuff with me. No, absolutely not. So I went for the 3 year, 3 years.
Nice.
Wow.
So it's easier, and plus we're paying rent yearly rather than 6 monthly now. So it's grand. And I would also like to say, you remember your original price that I told you he gave it to me for? He got back to me today with a different price.
Is it better?
Much better.
Nice.
I suppose he knows there's 3 year money coming in.
Yeah, I can't even say on air how much because
it's so little.
It's uncouth of me to say on air.
It is vulgar. Talk about money.
It is vulgar, but in that case, I'm going to talk about it, considering it's vulgar. I like to be vulgar.
I know.
Where the hell did he say?
Red rag to a bull, like.
Jeez, I feel a fart coming on, by the way, lads.
Yeah, I have that all the time, thanks to my bum problem. But
you do have a terrible
The
bum problem.
Podfather podcast.
The Podfather. That's going to be awesome. We're going to get JJ on to working out one of those, because the poor bastard, he put so much effort into
That
it.
fucking first one was class.
Class. And also, we have to get Mel, our old voiceover
Can
guy.
I not be Mel today?
No,
Damn,
Mel.
no, he's
Mel's
got
Mel
voices.
is Mel.
Awesome. Mel's Mel.
Thank you for your inquiry. Who the hell is that? No, that's not it, lads. You just keep talking there.
All right.
Blah, blah.
How's
blah,
Richie?
Blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty bad, man, lately. I'm actually really down.
What's up?
Just feeling the weight of the world.
Yeah.
I am. Poor Mrs. too. She's going through the mill.
Okay.
Just lockdown is affecting us both really badly. It's not affecting me as much because of work, I haven't been left jobless. One of my jobs went, but the other job I'll be working all the time. And then I got back in the garage, and I've been working the garage 5 days a week, 7 or 8 weeks after the first lockdown.
Okay.
And
That was about 7 or 8 weeks after I got my car from them.
and then did a lot of house projects, still kind of cracking through a few of them. But like, it's just really
a month.
That's nothing.
That's pretty sweet, actually.
It's really nothing. But like, it's just taking its toll on her more so because now I think the homeschooling was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
It's too much work.
Yeah, it is. Like, and I've heard that from some of my family with young kids as well. That
It's too much.
And like, beyond the stress of doing the work itself, there's the fear of like, fuck, they're not getting the schooling. Like,
it's not even that they're not getting the schooling. It's the bulk of it's the way they're laying out the work.
Okay.
Like, yeah, there's a nice little spread of subjects, and yes, all the reading and writing has to be done. But instead of like 3 equations after a basic problem, none of repeating equations, there's like figure these out. There'd be 30 of them.
Just to fucking kill time.
Just to kill time. It's like we need the opposites. We need high quality, low bullshit education. It's like supplementary emergency education.
Oh, that's all it is.
Don't be trying to do the same old stuff that they've missed out on already. Like poor Lily, she's 7. In my opinion, she's still learning how to learn.
Lads.
Yeah.
I have not been paying attention because I was doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Teresa sent in a text message saying, "It's the worst."
Is
that about the Podfather?
Maybe it's like, instead of it's the best, it's the worst.
Okay, probably. I thought it was something you were saying, you guys were talking about.
Oh, the lockdown.
Lockdown.
Probably.
And like,
maybe.
But poor missus, and I said there's a lot of women out there, like there's a lot of women stuck in abusive relationships, trapped in households with crazy men.
A lot of men stuck in abusive
relationships,
trapped in with crazy bitches.
But unfortunately, the way our male privilege works,
watch the podcast. Not the podcast, the
documentary.
The Red Pill.
Yeah, but unfortunately, our male privilege leads us down.
Yeah.
Bite down, lad.
Bite down on the butt end of my bollocks.
I'll just tell you, look, it happens, and men wouldn't be as quick to go report it to the police as a woman would.
No, they wouldn't, because the police would laugh at them.
Yeah, if a woman
That's
gets
not
abused,
right,
she'll
like-
ring.
But no, it has happened. Because
it has,
You listen to
definitely.
Niall Boylan's show, the amount of men who have rang in with that exact story. I was beaten up by my wife. I went to the police. They were like, "Lad, get a grip, get out of the house." Or
No,
whatever.
what's worse is they'll ring, and the police come to the house and arrest them.
Yeah.
Because a woman just starts spouting crazy shit. That's it. You come with me. You did that to yourself. She said so.
Have you? Now, here's a question that may get you in trouble in years to come. But have you ever laid your hands on a woman?
No.
No, not in a non-consented way. Like, there were some people that like rough stuff.
Now, I have once in self-defense.
That's different.
Actually, I have.
Okay.
My sister Megan.
Go on, the Megs.
Came at me with a knife, man. Block and chop.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Best of luck, JJ. No. Megan's a fierce. You know, she's a full-on character.
She's a Quinlan.
Yes. If you fuck with us, we will come at you.
There's no other way of saying it other than she's a Quinlan.
Yeah. Oh, I had it coming.
So, what was the question I asked?
Have you ever laid your hands on a woman?
Yes. So you
hit my sister.
Hit your sister, which is brothers do that.
Yeah.
And you've never done it.
Actually, if Corinne Walsh is listening, apparently I hit her with a stick when she was 6. And I was 6.
You bastard. You
Shout out
man
to Wayne
bastard.
Walsh and Atheos and Millie's guards beef to the heels like a Mullingar heifer. Yep, bow of it. Sorry, everybody loves Millie.
Yeah.
Way!
You're such a man bastard.
Oh, well, like, look.
Beating up a 6-year-old with a stick.
You know what I used to never do?
I know you were 6.
Yeah. But no, like, because it came up once before and it's kind of a thing and it's like, yeah, alright, whatever. But other than that, no. She must have fucking deserved it.
Can I tell a joke?
Yes.
Can I rub a cigarette paper off you, please? What do you tell a woman with 2 black eyes?
Nothing, you've already told her twice.
Jesus Christ.
That's awful. We're talking about mental health tonight, and now we're doing it.
Well, we're trying to liven the humour with a,
we
lighten
are.
the mood with a bit of humour.
Yeah, it's really highbrow stuff, you know?
I actually
yeah, right below the brow. That's where the eye socket is.
I actually kicked a pregnant woman in the arse.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because she was pregnant for a friend of mine. This was a long, long time ago. Like I was maybe 15, 16 years of age. And something happened that she just became this wild psycho bitch. And I was trying to stop her from hitting me, and she was like all over me. So I kind of grabbed her like this, and her teeth came down and literally took a chunk off my arm. And with that, when she bit, I pushed her, and my foot came up and kicked her in the hole.
Right.
But it was a pure reaction to
if
this.
that was a non-pregnant woman, I would be like, you are 110% justified in your actions.
I never even thought about the pregnancy. That was a...
Right. But in my mind, if a woman's pregnant, just back away.
Yeah.
Just walk away.
Yeah,
just walk away.
But it's one of those... It is one of those mammalian instincts that kick in that once you feel that level of pain and you're being badly bitten, you're going to do something.
Yeah, but it's like the whole thing. It's like that. I instantly cast judgment on a wife beater or a woman, someone that hits a woman.
Absolutely.
And Megan said she never came at you with a knife.
Yes, she did.
No, there you go. Apparently you did.
Maybe I hit her that hard she didn't remember.
Oh, come here. Can I tell you something interesting? Do you know what movie?
Please do.
Well, do you know? Do you know what movie I watched today? Jaws 1.
Shite.
It's terrible.
Yes.
But the reason why I watched it was because I watched an hour and a half of the making of Jaws 1 and the amount of shit that went on in the background. So, you know, in the famous scene where the shark attacks the cage and the cage gets all snapped up, Richard Dreyfuss is in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how they shot that scene was they got a midget and they put him into a small cage, and that way the shark looked like it was fucking huge. But the midget was in the cage
when
and
the shark took it away.
Attacked the cage, and because the cage was so small, it just destroyed the cage. Midget had a massive heart attack.
He died?
No, he didn't die.
Fucking
massive
hell.
heart attack while the shark is fucking...
Me,
like, oh, bollocks!
Me poor little heart, huh?
I've been doing the same, like, if I'm in this, shark-proof cage and suddenly it's not quite shark-proof, you're going to reevaluate your life decisions at that point.
Well, there was one of I think it was a cameraman, was saying, oh no, it wasn't, it was one of the safety officers, said, we decided to give him a little tank with air. He said, and I didn't realise that a midget's lungs are the same size as a normal person's lungs. He said, so I thought, this is going to be doing a week down there. It was 8 minutes of air. 8 minutes of fucking air.
You know what I said though with the shark? I said, his poor little heart.
In fairness, that is exactly what your man said, his little heart. Are they anatomically correct down there?
Some are, some aren't.
Really?
They're the same as the rest of us.
The dwarfism.
Because that would be really weird. Like to have a massive langer and this tiny little person.
Yes, it would, but there's dwarfism and then what's the other one? There's a difference, isn't there? Between a dwarf and a midget. Some of them have real bad problems.
We should ask Daniela.
She's just short. She's Italian.
I know, but she hates when anybody says anything about her height. And I mean, actually gets annoyed Like,
Actually, she hasn't texted in tonight.
no, she hasn't texted
You
tonight.
must have really pissed her off last night. She's not even listening to you anymore.
Why, what did I do last night?
No, on Tuesday.
What did I do on Tuesday?
You were talking with the nurses, and she said to give you a slap.
Don't mind that. Danielle's threatened to do worse. I have an awful habit of drawing penises, by the way.
Yes, I noticed.
Have you
Are
noticed
you
that?
phallically obsessed?
No, it's not that I'm phallically obsessed.
It
I
ain't
just
super
think,
bad credits, you know what I mean?
I think it's the fact that it's so damn immature that it's funny.
I will admit, when it snowed, I must have drawn, I don't know how many 6-foot snow dicks. You know the thing you do with your feet?
Dude, that's the first thing I done when it snowed.
Yeah.
You go over and ask Daniela. I went outside to this clean, crisp road, and I drew like a 20-foot penis in the middle of the road.
It's class.
And then I swear to God, ask her again. The guard at camera panned around and looked down at me doing it. And there was a big dick on the ground. I was like, look, the camera.
Oh, I actually, speaking of a story like that, there was one night I was up in Dublin and I was out causing mischief with one of the lads. We were in the house drinking and we decided, fuck it, we'll go off and cause some mischief. So we went up to his house and came back to the house we were in with a couple of cans of spray paint. And in his front lawn drew a massive dick
for fuck's
with
sake.
black spray paint.
It's not
into
so bad
the
it was
grass.
on the lawn, like.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
And this was
mischief,
like,
it's not
and
wanton vandalism.
this was like fucking. This was like, you know, 2-story suburban Dublin.
Oh yeah. 6-figure fucking.
No. These are like ordinary.
No, Everton and Dublin 6-figure price.
Oh, yeah, I do forget. Yeah, sure. It's fucking nearly that to live in East Wall now. Like.
It's what, $750 now for fucking normal shit turn your houses.
Yeah.
Question, is it okay to stereotype people from posher areas? You know, they talk like this and you all
Yes.
They're tougher.
You know, because I've often heard people coming on Niall's show and it will be, you're a fucking scumbag and I kicked the head off you. And then another guy will come on and go, yeah, some la-di-da-di-da. But the scumbag will take the piss out of his accent, but not the other way around.
Yes, because
one of them will scream, you're discriminating against me because of my background, and the other person just doesn't want that to fucking derail the argument. Like.
And it's a deemed point of privilege.
Would you dump somebody because of their accent?
No.
No, but I might if they have a fucking phrase I hate.
I've done it. I dumped somebody purely because of their accent.
Did they have an annoying voice or an annoying accent?
Accent.
What was their accent?
What's the bleeding story? And I mean,
amazing.
I will show you a video of this person, and that is how she spoke.
Is that voice on top of accent?
Here, I'll put it to you this way: she's the type of person who sits on the back of the bus, you know, singing "We're from Ballier, Ballyallier."
Yeah.
You know, that stupid shit, or clapping when the plane lands.
Yes. Lots of people.
She's just fucking living the dream, like.
She was just fun.
Yeah.
To which I don't like.
You don't.
No, me and fun. What is my idea of fun?
This podcast.
This is not fun. This is fucking torture.
This is your.
Yeah, that's why it's
you
fun.
You love this. You're wearing the hat. You have the coasters.
But I did love it. Now I hate it.
Yeah.
That's why you're changing everything.
That's like the kitten. I loved it. Now I hate it.
You hate the kitten?
No, I don't.
It's going to grow up to be a beautiful cat.
I don't. Well, in fairness, the bigger it gets, the more I'm not going to have anything to do with it.
Yeah, but the less it'll want to annoy you
Because
and just
it's
get
a
your
big
comfort.
It's a big cat. Now it's a playful little kitten that is mental. The cat's off its head. I swear to God, it's getting into cocaine or something.
Yeah.
Because the thing is just
a bit of catnip lying around,
bouncing around the fucking
house. Have you
house.
seen that video actually where they let the cat into like the full jar of catnip and then they try and take the catnip away?
Or did you see the meme?
And little paws come out.
The cat's having the little cat disco.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Or the one where your man's playing the accordion, there's a bit of a flame and there's 3 cats dancing.
Yeah.
If a party's not that lit, I don't want to be there.
What's the mini version of a cheetah? You know, is it a sphinx? Is that a cat?
No, sphinx are kind of like hairless ones.
There's one with spots on it.
Yeah.
Why do you think it starts with an L?
No, it's a fucking...
Lynx, no.
Oh, no, it's not a lynx. Because it has spots. The reason why I ask you this is because today I was watching a video and a guy has one of these cats.
That one of those big long eared ones. They've got really pointy ears with the black one.
That's the lynx, that is.
No. These are like a domestic size cat.
Lynx has no tail. These are like...
That's a manx. A manx has no tail.
Well, this thing would
No,
be
lynx has no tail as well.
Doesn't it?
Lynx don't have tail, they have massive ears.
Yeah, big pointy ears.
Okay. I want a bobcat though. I'd like a bobcat.
Bobcat's like related to the lynx. Be closest thing to one.
It would be about this big. Like it could stand up and look at you from the table here.
It wasn't a Maine Coon like.
Could have been a Maine Coon.
I don't know.
Really fuzzy.
No. It was like sleek hair and them spots, like a black spot with a brown spot in the middle of it.
I know them. I know them. Fucking.
It looks like a cheetah, but it's a smaller version. And the only reason why I'm talking about it is because this guy
is it a lyra or something like that?
That does sound familiar. I'm on the same thing as you with an L.
I think it's a lyra.
For some reason, lemur just keeps popping into my head, and I know it's not a fucking.
It's not a lemur,
clearly.
No.
But this guy has this big cat in his house. But every time he feeds it, it does that, and then it'll hiss at him.
Yeah.
And this is a big cat that can do damage to you. Now, if you were there and that cat started doing that to you, what would you do?
Back the fuck away and give him his peace while he's eating. If it's just while he's eating, my cats do that when they're eating.
What the?
Yeah,
but you're not intimidated.
I am.
Really?
Man, scratch the cunt out of you.
I know, yeah, little bastards.
Yeah.
But there's no way I'd have something like that in my house. Way too dangerous.
No, but if that's a single guy and that's his deal,
kids and everything in the house, man.
Yeah, no, fuck
wife
that.
and kids in the house.
I feel the same about people with
Mastiff Terriers,
big rescue dogs, and like I know everybody goes into this with the best of intentions.
German Shepherds are grand.
No, I had a German Shepherd we'd put down.
One like that.
Yes,
that's a Savannah cat.
Ah,
Lyra come into it anywhere?
No, but you're thinking of a Ligra, maybe?
No, a liger is like huge.
Yeah, Liger's a big
lion
cat.
and a tiger hybrid, and it's bigger than both.
Why is the lion called the king of the jungle? Because it's not the biggest.
Because of American euphemisms or something.
But not even that. But they live in the savannah.
Yeah, they don't live near the forest.
It has nothing to do with the jungle.
Jaguars.
No, it's tigers live in the jungle, man.
Tigers and jaguars.
They're really hard to see, though.
So why are they called the king of the jungle? Is that a Jungle Book thing? Yeah, ha ha ha. Is that a Jungle Book thing? Like,
well, there's a tiger in the Jungle Book, not a lion.
Was it?
The king of the jungle was
that's true, actually.
George of the Jungle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So where the hell did it come from?
I don't know. Gorillas are kings of the jungle anyway. I think it's just a stupid phrase from like a film or something.
Colonial times, probably.
Yeah, isn't it terrible the way some people? You know, there's actually more tigers in captivity in America than there is
in the wild anywhere.
In the wild anywhere.
Yeah, and I'm all for it. At least they're keeping them alive and they like them as pets.
No, I don't mind it.
Well, you want to know what's crazy, right?
Monkeys.
Look at the gun ownership in America versus the murder rate versus the lion ownership versus the lion eating people rate.
Okay, what is?
They don't eat anybody. There's I think it's like 4 or 5 hands or something are lost a year.
That's it.
That's very few fatalities. Very, very few. And the ownership level's through the roof.
I'm not going to lie. I think people are less careless with lions and big cats than they are with guns.
Yeah,
yes.
That's what I'm trying
You don't hear people letting a lion chop off their own dick, like. But you do hear people shooting off their own dick.
Well, I mean, if the gun is in the room, you don't have to keep your eye on it.
Yeah, but it's But even look at the gun density in Sweden. And
what's that like?
Massive, same level. Like there's more guns than
like
people.
The States?
More guns. It's the same as the States.
Well, what's their lion ownership like? I don't think it's a fair
Probably
comparison.
There's one, but there's no gun deaths.
So
maybe if we take away legal lion ownership, it'll put down the gun deaths. That's the only way I can do it. I should be a US politician.
So where?
That's how they come.
More logic than some.
Yeah.
America has the highest captivity rate of lions and tigers and bears. Oh my!
And prisoners outside of China.
Yeah, this is very true. So who comes after America? I'm gonna take a wild guess and say somewhere like India.
No, I'd probably say Mexico.
I think maybe Dubai.
Dubai or Mexico, anywhere there's mad money.
Or Russia. I've seen lots of Russians.
Yeah. Russians like their bears as well, though.
And they like their white tigers.
They like everything.
Yeah, I love the Russians.
They love black and Mercedes.
The Russians are hilarious, especially when they're drunk.
Yeah, but they're so censored away from us.
Did you see? There's a video of a guy who was piss drunk, a Russian, breaks into his lion enclosure in a zoo. And the lion is creeping over to him. And
he's trying to jump into his mouth.
No. He's sitting on the log and he's giving out to the lion as if to say, "Don't come near me." And the lion comes over and just paws him really quick. Your man draws out with a bleeding punch. Punches the lion. Fucking knocks the lion out, and the lion backs off.
Oh yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, don't fuck with Russians, man. There's the videos of those babushkas carrying those logs, and there's like bears 20 feet away. And like,
they're fucking on. Like they're a different breed. Like,
what do you call a Russian who drinks too much vodka? I'd be Sikolovia.
What do you call a Russian gender changing surgeon? Dr. Labobalikov.
What do you say when the Pope takes a shit? Holy shit.
What's the procedure when you change a female to a male? And a strapedectomy.
Actually, there's a new drug on the market for lesbians. It's called Troy Cox again. Come on,
that was amazing. Really good. That's really good as Liam Malone.
No. I'm trying to remember where the hell I heard that.
Troy Cox again is
Troy
amazing.
Cox again.
Who says they ever tried one first? At all?
Well, this is very true.
Oh, a platinum lesbian.
That's platinum gays.
No, but platinum lesbian, her load was never shot out of a penis.
Oh, no.
Test tube baby.
No, because even at that, it
was retrieved directly from the seminal vesicle.
I don't think that's a thing.
No, it's definitely not.
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
But it will be as soon as that operation becomes available and somebody has that social standing point.
No. What about where, like, you can create life without a man?
Yeah, but there's
That'll
something
never happen.
You can just take the woman's DNA and you're pricking around with how the DNA fuses.
You need sperm.
No, you just cut the chromosomes in half, don't you? And you pair them up.
You just kind of you fuck around with it.
But it doesn't regenerate the same for some reason. It's very hard to work it out.
Yeah,
it's not straight, just stitching.
No, because like, have you ever seen the video of an egg being fertilized, and it ripples across the egg?
Yep.
Like, there's huge fucking cellular mechanisms.
Massive amounts of information changing place.
Yeah, like it's absolutely fucking wild, and we don't have a fucking clue about half of it yet. Like,
Well, there was a drug that was developed over in China, I think, maybe China, Japan, Hong Kong, because that's the side of the world. And anyway, they were looking for a way to cure malaria. So what they done was they got a load of mosquitoes and they done some sort of genetic modification to this. Mosquito.
Oh, that's how they made the Zika virus.
And no. What they accidentally figured out was that at the point of conception, they could do some sort of procedure on the egg that would alleviate all sorts of congenital disorders.
In mosquitoes?
No, in humans.
And then didn't the dude do that to two people completely without license?
No. I know who you're talking about. No, this was two lads. It was never approved because the governments, and what it would do away with is Down syndrome, male pattern baldness, asthma, so any sort of genetic disorder.
What about like Huntington's disease or?
Do away with all that.
Okay.
Because that's a predisposed disorder.
Yeah, like
so that would do it away with.
fibrosis
And do you know what their answer to it was?
What?
You're stepping in and doing God's work. Let them be what they're going to be. That's a terrible answer.
Yeah, but there's also the stepping in and interfering with life at the conceptual stage.
Well, see,
they were
coming up with designer babies.
You're coming into transhumanism there.
Yes. Yeah. But like, not even that. Like, it's a case of like, when you do that, you are going to create. Like, there's no coming back from it once you start it.
Well, see, what they were saying was they also you have people going, well, I want my baby to have blonde hair, blue eyes, and genetically.
Yeah, but when you do that, right, you're limiting the way they reproduce so that their offspring will all have blonde hair and blue eyes, and you're making it very genetically narrow. So you could lead
the Aryan race.
You could lead to maybe a 6 or 7 generation issue.
Yeah, it's
where you're going backwards down the pyramid of evolution than forwards.
I wonder in that case, and this is just off the cuff, could you remove someone's blackness?
Yes, you could fuck around with their melanin.
Yeah,
but that's all it is melanin. Yeah. All they found through all the dissecting, through all the horrible stuff that's had to happen through all the years, the phrenologists getting in and saying this.
That's
and all
a fucking shite science.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That this is what these people had to suffer, and they're trying to figure out why the black person's brain was smaller. And all these stupid, unrelated facts that correlations equal causations.
Nonsense.
You know what I mean? All this stuff, medical nonsense and misadventure. All they could find, the only difference they could find are physical beings was the males slightly more density on the cheeks, the foreheads, and the knuckles.
Okay.
And more.
And why is that?
That's just
through
genetic bone density.
Genetic bone density, as in the ones that survived and reproduced were the ones with more bone density.
Like if you look at the bone density between between like a Neanderthal, like an ancient human, a Russian weightlifter, and regular human being. It was a study done, and they have the pictures of the bones.
Okay.
I mean, you can literally see like the Neanderthal is like a block of bone. The Russian fucking weightlifter is basically a block of bone, and then the regular person is like
hard sponge.
Oh yeah, like straight fucking cardboard tube out of a fucking kitchen roll.
It's all about how your body's used.
But still, if you could alleviate all of the world's sicknesses, genetic sicknesses, our hospitals would be fucking empty.
No, they wouldn't.
They would.
No, there'll always be accidents. There'll always be need for medical
Yeah,
care.
but you look at who's in the hospitals now. It's mostly people with genetic disorders.
No. It's mostly fat people.
With genetic disorders, man.
No, mostly. It's mostly overweight people. At
You
the
don't
minute,
have-
with
you
COVID,
don't-
it's mostly
no,
overweight
no,
people.
no,
and
no,
elderly people.
No. What genetics? I mean, you can't. You count in like heart disease and cancers
No,
as genetic
regular people.
disorders.
No, some heart disease is genetic. Of
It
course.
is, yeah,
some,
but-
some heart disease is. But you
And
have
cancer's
to, like,
all genetic.
Cancer is genetic. So if we could alleviate those, then the hospitals would have less patients in it. It's Down syndrome patients, kids who were born deformed, all of that kind of stuff, gone overnight. If we done this one procedure. Now,
yeah, but maybe these edited
We've
people are
no
super
fucking-
susceptible to viruses.
We have no
They could be.
verifiable proof that procedure is worthwhile,
Effective.
beneficial, or safe.
no, we don't. No, we don't.
No, we don't.
This
So
is-
we
no.
cannot call it a procedure.
Of course, but this is what these guys were claiming. You
Yeah,
know,
well,
and
like in
if-
all fairness, I can claim the sun shines out of my arse.
I know, but they
People
had,
will do crazy things
no,
to
no,
get
no,
funding.
wait. No, they had No, they didn't need funding. It was finished. The deal was done. They didn't make a deal with somebody. They had done their research. They had done whatever test they done, and they proved this.
Do you want to hear something crazy? We're talking about legitimate scientists there, right?
Yeah.
Whatever medical procedure or crazy thing you can dream up or imagine has happened somewhere where human rights don't exist. China. The whole Unit 731, like there was so much stuff done to human beings there, like found every extreme, every tolerance of the human body. That's when the bulk of modern Western medical research was done. You mean to tell me that there's still not private facilities where people are brought in and experimented on?
Of course
today?
there are.
Like, sky's the limit. They've done whatever you can imagine. They've done it.
Yeah, of course. By the way, can you plant? You put Pepsi on plants.
It's water in it. That'd be grand. Yeah.
Is the carbon dioxide? Yeah.
It's slightly acidic.
The sweetener would probably be the only thing you'd worry about there. But it's a cactus, so it'll take anything.
Yeah, because it's pretty damn dry. I just noticed it. See, I'm a wonderful person. I love the environment.
That's an aloe vera. I did my primary thesis on aloe veras, and that seems all right.
Yeah, sure. It's designed to completely dry out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, that's why it holds all that water. It's survival.
What was the
It's
big
succulent.
what was the big hype there about 2 or 3 years ago with aloe vera? Everybody was buying aloe vera.
Because of there was a multi-level marketing scheme,
Yeah.
Forever Living, and it was all aloe vera based products. And
But it's bullshit.
That's fucking...
no. Aloe vera is a great product. It's great
Yeah.
for you.
No, but it's bullshit what they were claiming.
No. What they were claiming was if you sell this, you make some money. But if you sell the business to your friends, you make money off the money.
Yeah,
they
no,
make.
but the claims it was making of what it can.
No, the
heal.
products were brilliant. The products worked. They did everything they said on the
They're
tin.
good, like, they're
Yeah,
good.
but I remember a guy who took up this as a part-time job because
Selling it,
he
yeah.
was told, you're going to make millions from it.
Yeah, that's what he told everybody.
And every time I go to him, if I was saying I have a headache, oh, here, take some aloe vera. I have a rash on my ass. Oh, take some aloe vera. I have a pain in my face.
My
take some
wife
aloe
was
vera.
selling it and selling the businesses, and her and her friends got into it. And we had every range of the products in the house, and there wasn't one product out of the whole lineup that I didn't like.
There was one that I drank.
Yeah,
It wa-
the
it was
shot
like-
every morning.
It was like lumpy sperm.
Yes.
It was disgusting.
Really,
That
really.
sounds like raw aloe vera.
It was just raw
Yeah.
aloe vera gel in a drum.
Okay.
Yeah, and you drink it.
Mrs. making us take shots of it in the morning.
That'd be really good for
It
you.
was really, really nice.
Yeah, not tasty though.
No, it's not supposed to be.
No, it's very bitter.
And like lumpy spunk.
Yeah,
That's
but
all
you
I
get
think of.
flavoured with peach. It was amazing.
Okay.
You can taste the sperm off.
So
it
what
all.
is it that's in
Was
aloe
that
vera
peach
that's
syrup or
good?
real peach?
What's in aloe vera that's good?
Oh god, there's a lot of things.
Yeah, loads of vitamins and minerals. And
There's loads of vitamins and minerals, but like there's stuff that's good for collagen. There's stuff that helps fucking with burns. There's stuff that like helps with inflammation. There's stuff that helps with digestion. There's stuff that helps with insulin content.
Sounds like weed.
Yeah, no, but it's just a great plant-based
but, like,
fucking thing
they're
to
all
take.
they're all just like plant-based chemicals. They're all like they're all just fucking
Is it stanols, or what's the word for the plant?
like stanols or be healthy fats, like yeah.
But it's plant-based fat.
Yeah.
What's the one for plant-based minerals? And they're the same minerals, but when you get them in chains in plants.
Amino acids, like.
No, yeah, plant proteins.
Yeah.
But what's the general word for plant-based biological?
Phytochemicals.
That's it. Yes. Because your body can produce
And the whole-
phytochemins on their own as well. Like,
And the whole area of study is called pharmacognosy.
yeah. But it's very important, because taking those aloe vera things every day, you do notice a slight better betterment in, like your cycle of pooing and first thing in the morning. It inspire
like
you.
eating
It'll make
Weetabix every day.
But the thing is, it'll make you drink water first thing in the morning, which you really need to do.
Warm water, apparently.
Yeah, put you off eating. Cold water shocks the system.
Well, you know, it's funny because mental health and all of that. It is amazing the difference in an individual if they get a balanced diet and do exercise.
Yeah, but now with exercise,
it is a huge difference.
Exercise is overemphasized over clean and healthy eating. But the thing about exercise is, if you get into exercise first, you'll want to eat clean and healthy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You good, like.
Yeah, but if you have
overemphasized on some people.
Yeah, but if you have a balanced diet, so you're eating good veg, good meats, and you go for a run. I've always found that when I was fit, you know, obviously when I'm in this condition, I'm like fucking 20 stone. You know, I don't want to go for a run. It's terribly uncomfortable, blah, 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 blah. But then when you get used to it, it's that time alone on the road with your headphones on, and you're not thinking about anything. It's just you and the open road.
You're just thinking, trying to keep your breathing going.
No, when you get to the stage where you're nice and comfortable as well, where you can breathe properly, it's just a joy to get out and not have to take part in life and just clear your head. You know, and you know you're healthy, you know you're doing the right thing, you know you're eating the good foods, and that makes you feel amazing.
Oh, no, it makes you feel really good, and the endorphins you get from it help you sleep better, you have a better, everything about you improves, regardless of anything else. Like, you mean, you will just function better.
And to bring back income inequality into this yet again.
We're not meant to be sedentary. We're not meant to sit still for so long. Like,
yeah.
We're built for motion.
And to bring it back to your income inequality, was people always see like people on the dole and they're all fat. Mm-hmm. The only food they can afford is cheap shit food.
Absolutely.
That's 100%. Freezer food, man, nothing in it.
Dude,
if you look at a frozen pizza, you get 3 of them for £2.
Yeah.
There's no way in
a head of broccoli, £2.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the point I was making. Yeah.
What the fuck did I write down? See, I can't even understand.
You just cut across me, and now you fucking ran out of steam. You
Sorry,
prick.
a kiwi. So a kiwi is the vitamin bomb, apparently.
Yes.
That's what I was told years ago by a dietitian, to eat kiwis because apparently that has the most vitamins. Than
but
any
don't
other
eat too
fruit.
many of them. You'd want to eat maybe 2 or 3 of them a month.
You can live off nothing but spuds for a long time. Like, spuds are amazing.
But apparently,
there's no point going off around the world looking for class food and it's on our doorstep.
Yeah, I know, but the kiwi bomb, the vitamin bomb, this is going to give you everything you need. A potato isn't.
A potato gives you pretty much everything you need.
Pretty much.
So vitamin D?
Yeah.
Vitamin C?
Well, I think so, yeah.
Vitamin D from
I don't think there's vitamin C in it.
There'd be something.
No. Like, I think potatoes are like one of the few veg that you can actually have as your main source of food, and you'll be all right. Like,
that's why they become a staple food.
Yeah, whereas like kiwis and stuff, they're going to be very high in sugar. You're going to end up with diabetes if you have too much of them.
Did you also know that there's a new thing? Well, it's not a new thing, but is Joe Rogan or Toe Rogan brought up? It's carbohydrate poisoning. Apparently, with the 7 billion people that's in the world, there's so many people who suffer from carbohydrate poisoning, but they just don't realize it because man was never meant to eat carbohydrates, apparently.
That's bullshit.
No, we ate carbohydrates. It's these fake complex carbohydrates made with oils and salts.
No, but everything that we eat these days, you know yourself.
Yeah,
when
but
you go on a diet,
the nature of the carbohydrates, how they're cooked.
When you go on a diet, you go into the shop, and the unfortunate thing, diet becomes a lifestyle. It becomes, you're looking at everything, checking everything, what sugars are in it, what salts are in it, what carbohydrates are in it.
Your diet is your lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. It's an absolute lifestyle. But he was saying that, you know, when we were back in the day, Neanderthal men, we were just eating veg and meat. So where was the carbohydrates coming from?
Veg.
So what veg gives off carbohydrates?
But like starch.
Well, like, I mean, you could say that, well, no, he's American, so like, no, spuds were over there, like. But there was like
wheat.
Maize.
And spuds are not native to Ireland.
No, Peru.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, you had like cultures living off potatoes for a long time before Ireland did.
Chinese live off potatoes.
The yuccas.
Really?
They eat fuck all rice, man. They eat potatoes. That's their staple food.
I thought that...
No, spuds. They grow rice and they grow tons of rice and eat.
By the way, one of the biggest CO2 outputs in the world, the paddy fields.
Yeah.
The rice, yeah.
How so?
Don't know.
It's terraformed.
Google it.
It's because it's terraformed.
Google it. Apparently, it gives off so much CO2.
Because plants give off CO2 at night, and there's tons of these plants there.
Is that because of fertilizer stuff? Because I've heard they're starting to bring fish back into them to
I just heard it as a
be a bit more fucking sustainable, like, and
No, I just heard this as a soundbite. That's all I heard. But here's an interesting one for you. Where does a tree get its mass from?
Some of all its parts.
So, where does a tree get its mass from? Think carefully.
The air.
Good man. Great answer.
Yeah, because
all of its
doesn't pull it
density. It's not pulling out the roots out of the ground because the soil will get smaller around the ground, and that doesn't happen.
No, it pulls water from the ground and certain minerals from the ground.
And what happens is it turns into carbon.
Yeah.
So you have this tree that's made of carbon. And there was a guy on
It pulls the carbon.
Mark Rober, the
Can't
scientist
make
guy.
carbon.
No, it takes carbon from the air.
Takes carbon and puts out oxygen.
Uses that
Yeah, I
carbon.
know.
And the
But
carbon
I'm just
stays.
saying. I'm just saying. You can't make an atom.
But see,
only suns.
no,
can
of
do
course,
that.
of course. But who was saying? Who was saying make an
From
atom?
the celestial handshake.
Who was saying make
We're
an
all
atom?
made of stardust.
When you said it makes carbon, as
That-
it's
that-
technically
that was
an
a
incorrect
trigger-
thing to say.
That actually triggered me. I'm
Okay.
not going to lie. That
Right,
triggered
so
me.
it doesn't make carbon. It takes the carbon out of the air and
Yeah.
puts out oxygen, and it remains carbon behind. So what Mark Rober was explaining, and I was like, I never would have thought of that. But apparently burning trees, what it does is all of that carbon that's taken hundreds of years to take out of the atmosphere
Yep.
You let it
is
back
now
in.
released in one fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back into the atmosphere. And I was like, oh fuck, I never thought wood of being one of the problems burning.
Anything.
No. See, burning wood, if you do it sustainably, is carbon neutral because what you're putting out is what you're taking in. So let's say you have.
Whoa, explain that.
Okay.
The carbon in the tree came from this one atmosphere.
No, like so. Let's say you've a small bit of land, you've a couple of acres, you put it all into forest, and you start coppicing it. You start chopping off like a section of it. It does you a year as you get through. By the time you get to the last bit, you're back to the first bit, right? Mm-hmm. As you burn that is actually going to be carbon neutral.
Yeah, but therefore newer trees. But what if you get big forests with hundreds
That's
of...
the problem.
Yeah.
When you clear forest, you release all that carbon in one go.
Exactly, so it's the likes of South America where they're literally burning down vast areas
to make way for farmland.
To make way for
big
agricultural
Yeah, but
land.
see, a lot of it, they're not burning, they're burning the bushland. They're cutting down the trees. That carbon's being transported around the world to be used in different ways.
Yeah.
It doesn't all get burned. It becomes this.
No, I've seen complete forest areas
Yes, some areas
burnt down.
where the trees weren't desirable. Like,
Yeah.
if there,
No,
if
no,
there's an
that's-
ebony tree 20 miles in there, they would burn 20 miles of forest to get to the one ebony tree.
No, what I was looking at was specifically talking about making room for agriculture. And they
For
were
beef.
So what they were doing was they weren't chopping down the trees because the people in the area didn't have the technology to chop down trees, nor did they have the deals with anybody to take the wood off them.
Yeah, burn
so
it
it's
down
literally
then,
burned the whole fucking area down, and that's a bad
Something
idea.
like the size of the UK is cleared every year.
Apparently, yeah. Which is a terrible idea, by the way.
Well, it is and it isn't, because remember 70% of the world's oxygen comes from algae in the oceans.
Yeah, but we're fucking them up.
We're fucking that. Yeah, like the ocean, like we're getting these polar blasts. That's because of the weakening of the Gulf Stream. And the reason the Gulf Stream is weakening and saying there is salinization levels in the Atlantic Ocean are changing. There's more fresh water coming into the
I was
Atlantic
just about
Ocean.
because of
and
melting
it's-
ice caps, yeah.
Not just because
so
of
it's
melting ice caps.
desalinization.
Yeah, it's desalinizing the water.
Oh, I thought
I
you
said
said
salinization levels.
Okay,
have lowered,
yeah.
which changes the currents in the ocean.
Ah.
It just moves the currents away. They go to a more salinized stream.
Isn't it amazing to think that you look at these vast deserts? There's just sand, beautiful, soft sand.
And
That you can't build buildings
rainforests
with.
at one point.
They were rainforests or
Yeah.
oceans at one point.
I reckon
And it's-
Egypt was as green as fuck.
Yes,
But no,
and it's so hard to
There's a
get your
lake,
head around that.
There's a lake under the Sahara about the size of the Sahara itself.
I would say
It's,
so,
a,
yeah.
it's a lake basin. And,
Yeah, no. There's still fresh water underneath it, and now they're starting to tap it.
yeah, or like the salt flats
No,
in
no.
America.
Oh, God,
Bolivia
they're
and all that,
amazing.
like.
The salt flats are absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I seen a guy walking out into one of the salt flats, and it had rained just beforehand.
It was like a mirror.
And it was a mirror, and it looked like he was floating in the sky. I was like, oh, that looks fucking awesome.
Did you ever see? No, you see those test cars, and you see lads racing cars across salt flats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you ever see them a week later?
Oh, rusted?
Oh my god!
Of course, it's pure
because
salt.
it's being sandblasted by salt, and then any moisture, even the moisture in the air from being put into a car transporter and
Oxidization.
brought to another dry storage. So just say you have a different. Just say you lock the box.
The humidity changes.
The humidity changes, so it'll be 100%, or sorry, but just say it's 60 degrees ambient inside the trailer,
Yeah.
and then drive off and it cools down at night. that's enough moisture in the air to get condensation on that sandblasted by salt metal for it to all oxidize.
Well, you remember the episode of Top Gear where the lads went across the salt plain? And the best scene in the whole lot of it was they were getting ready to go across this massive area that nobody had ever crossed in a car. So while they're in the middle of setting up the cars, a parachute's floating down from the sky, and it was the president. It was the president of wherever they were.
South American country, wasn't it?
No, it was Africa.
It was in Africa?
Yeah, South Africa. Oh, no, North Africa. But he comes in on a parachute. I was like, how stylish.
Yeah.
James Bond shit is this?
Be so funny when pluff.
I say he came in a parachute. He technically didn't jump out of an airplane. I'm lying a little bit. What he had was one of those things that you see in the...
Oh, no way.
The big fan on the back.
He was a fan man.
Yeah. And just flying over to them. But he said to them, lads, don't do it. You know, nobody has ever done it. You're going to die. And they, we'll do it. The problem was the weight of the car.
Crushing down and
it would sink into it like it was like a creme brulee.
Yes.
You know, the top of it was crunchy.
With a sink quicksand underneath.
Yeah. The only one that didn't have problems was Richard Hammond because he was driving a little car that he called Oscar.
Oh, the Opel Corsa.
Yes. No, not Corsa.
No, it would have been a Vauxhall Corsa.
I don't think it was a Corsa. No, you're wrong. It was something like that.
Viva.
No.
Vauxhall Viva.
No.
It's a small Vauxhall from the fucking turn of the 60s.
I will get the name of it.
Cadet?
No.
I have to Google
it was
this.
like a fucking Anglia or something.
No, but it's an Opel, so
Okay.
or a Vauxhall. It'd be a Vauxhall Viva or a Vauxhall Corsa.
Go on, keep talking.
Oh, I want to know, is it a Viva or a Corsa? What
I
else?
think it was older. I think it was an older car than that. I'm absolutely drawing a blanket at the moment. But
It was. I think it was, as far as I know, it was like a 50s or 60s.
yeah.
That's why I think it's a Viva. It's either a Viva or a Corsa.
No.
Well, come on, what is it?
I'm looking it up. Hold on. You keep talking there.
I'll find
keep
it
talking.
faster. I'll find it faster.
No, you won't.
It's called Oscar the car.
Oscar.
Yeah, that's what. No, Oliver. Yeah, it's not, yeah. What car is Oliver? Opel Cadet.
I said Cadet last.
Yeah, there we go. It was an Opel
It's
Cadet.
either a Viva, Cadet, or a Corsa.
But he was like skimming a stone across a pond. He was just.
What were the other boys driving? Someone in a Lancia. Lancia Beta.
That was Hammond. Clarkson was driving
May
that.
a Mercedes W123.
Yes, and May was having the worst problems because it was the Mercedes was going to be really heavy. But he took the doors and everything off.
Yeah, and then afterwards they passed through an area with lions and they had to make like protective cages for themselves.
And what they done was what the lads put the head of like a horse or something.
Head of a yak.
Something in the boot of his car so the lions would chase him. That's awesome.
Pretty funny.
I know.
See, do you know the joke? You know they always crash into
each other. Yeah.
You know what that joke was about?
No.
Ramming him up the arse because he's gay. Because he wasn't out as gay for a couple of seasons of Top Gear. Fucking James May.
James May's married.
Yeah, but that was the joke.
No.
The joke was he was gay. That's why they
but
rammed
he's
him up
not
the
really
arse.
gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not really gay. He is married.
Yeah, but that was the joke.
And an absolute pothead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see him accidentally saying something about weed?
No.
And he grew weed at the back of the Top Gear office, like a big plant. And Jeremy Clarkson goes, I know there's something suspicious today. And he brought the cameraman over and said, do you recognise this plant? It was a weed plant. It was about 8 foot tall.
Was this from Top Gear or...
Top Gear.
Oh, come here. Do you know there's that plan to feck around with the Astra?
Oh, yes, yeah.
I was thinking, what about a Massey 135 bonnet on it?
Ooh. Well, now see, we
could do both. Because me and Aiden had a chat, we were thinking, why don't we do a candid camera wind-up where we try and sell the car, right? But we've set the car up to go wrong on every test drive.
All right.
So, like, there's a button you push and the bumper falls off. But the guy selling the car, whichever one of us gets nominated to do it, it's like, that's grand. It's still the same price now.
Yeah, and
you wind somebody up.
We put it in the back seat for you.
Yeah,
you have to pretend like nothing is wrong. That's grand.
Yeah,
or even like there should be a button that you press and all 4 wheels come off.
Or someone like
classic.
You pull out in front of them and they have to plow into you or something.
No,
we can't have an accident.
No, a little fender bender.
No, you can still get in whiplash for that.
No. We're even while we're looking at the car, you come speeding in and crash into it while they're just standing outside looking at it.
We could blow the car up.
You could get out pretending. You could get out pretending to be the neighbour. Oh, how he is, lads, and reverse into the car as I'm trying to sell it.
Well, no, let's.
Do we know?
In fairness,
do we know anyone with a fucking backhoe that could just drop it on it?
What's a backhoe?
JCB.
Oh. Because
They could just drop the scoop and it like whoops.
Can I just? That would be awesome. Can I just point out, by the way, we have no say in this. This is his challenge.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry.
No, we can suggest, but he's to come up with something. Because, like I said before,
I like the Mad Max-esque of a 135 bonnet. We could safari it, but that would cost money. Whereas if we just chop bits out and make a Mad Max, or
Well, like we could see what we could do. We could see what we can get done cheap because bushings are
Opel
cheap.
Vectra pickup.
A couple of fucking spacers
Done
for
it.
the springs.
I've done that. It's not as fun as you think.
But we Mad Max it, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, do you know? No, we could do that. It's a lot of work. Do you remember Jeremy Clarkson made a limo out of a normal car?
Yeah, he
just
did it out
cut
of a
in
Renault
half
5. It was out of a Renault
no, it was
5.
a Fiat.
It was a Fiat. It was.
Was it?
Yeah, it was
Fiat,
Fiat. Yeah.
broken half.
Yes. That's right. Yeah, he was trying to pull a handbrake turn or something.
It just snapped off.
And just snapped off. And the other fucking idiot.
No,
He
this
got
is a
two
Renault
ends
5.
of the car.
He brought fucking your man to
Chris
the-
Moyles, yeah, it was
Yes.
a Fiat Uno.
Maybe it was a Fiat
No, it was a
Uno.
Panda. It was a Panda.
Yeah, it wasn't a Uno.
It was a Panda extended. Because the Uno was bigger than the Panda.
Do you remember the Tipo?
T-Bo's a class car.
My brother had a Tipo.
There was a guy traded one in with 725,000 miles on it.
Jesus Christ.
They got onto Fiat to say, do you want it as like a heritage car? They're like, no, we have one with 1 million. Fuck off.
Fair enough.
Oh, to anybody that owns a Hyundai, if you drive a Hyundai to the 1,000,000 mile or 1,000,000 kilometer mark and ring Hyundai,
They'll give you a new car.
no, they'll send you a badge that says 1M. You put it on the back of your car. But if you can prove that the car got 1,000,000 miles with a full Hyundai service history, then they'll give you a new car. And a 1M badge for your old car.
Well, do you know that? You remember? Remember the Pagani Huayra?
Oh yeah, that's a different kettle of fish now.
So the Pagani Huayra is an amazing fucking car.
Steampunk supercar, yeah.
But do you know that the test driver of that car was had a monumental task of driving it to 1,000,000 miles?
Wow.
And that's where they put their standards. They said, let's see, can we get this car to 1,000,000 miles?
You know, cars like that, and Pagani would partake in it a lot. You know, these new super hypercars, they cost like fucking 300,000 or 400,000 a pop.
They're all Paganis, yeah.
They all have to be crash tested. And sometimes you have to submit 30 finished articles of the car for crash testing.
Yeah.
And you can't do that with carbon fibre monocoques.
No.
When it's going to cost you to make 100 grand to make the car.
Yeah,
Right? You know,
yeah.
just to make the car. So what they did was they made 7. And each car cost $250,000 each to make. Because at different stages of development, they'd give them the car to crash test it. Because the carbon fibre monocoque could take such a beating that the way they designed the car was, this monocoque, we'll give them, they can crash it 8 or 9 times. Because it won't suffer or deform. And they built all these sufferable, deformable structures around it.
Wow.
So even when the yoke is ripped to smithereens, the core survival cell of the car still works and lasts. And that's where the
This is why you can drive them at 214 mile an hour.
You can do it in many cars.
You know, the alloys of the Pagani Huayra were hewn from one solid piece of aluminium.
that's not uncommon.
Hewn from one piece?
Yeah, a lot of companies do that for wheels.
Normally they do the back and the front, they put them together.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all one big massive piece.
Yeah.
And it takes something like 8 weeks to do one wheel.
Yeah, but like the majority of the alloys you see are
Shit,
cast.
just leave it on the machine, let it walk home, like, you know.
Cast and spun, but those like honed ones, the milled wheels, like you get them in high performance cars because it's the only one that won't explode at that speed. Same with tires.
Very
Do you ever see the
balanced way,
video
yeah,
where
yeah.
they get different rated tires, you know, speed ratings to show you how important speed ratings
Yes.
are? And they do the same test. It's 0 to 100 to 0, and then it's 0 to flat out, which in this car was 185 miles an hour
Right.
to 0, and then 0 to 100 to 50 to 150. Testing the tires out. The cheapest tires exploded on the first fucking test.
I'd say
0
so.
to 100 to 0.
They'd be fucking ripped from the G's on the launch.
Completely
Like.
just shredded. Cars ABS couldn't figure them out. They were just cheap tires.
It's funny you're talking about tires because I was looking at Air Crash Investigation.
Can I say something about the
Sorry, go
honed
ahead, yeah.
wheels? They put shittier wheels on some of the shittier tires because they weren't expected to get up because they knew they'd burst and wreck the fucking car. But they did so much damage to the car because they thought about the wheels and tires breaking, but they never thought about the arch liners of the car and the bumper.
But you're always going to miss something.
It was an AMG fucking SLS.
Oh.
Like, it was just-
SLS Black?
No, it was just an SLS, but this one was tuned and it could go to 185.
Well, I was watching the
Same time, like cheap tires are the worst thing you can do to your car.
And this is why
the only bit that touches
if
the road.
only if you intend on changing them within 3 months.
Well, and this is why I'm saying about the air crash investigation thing, because years ago, Concorde,
that's what was bursting the fuel tanks.
The wheel burst and a slab of the tyre itself came off and ruptured the fuel tank, and the fuel started pissing out all over the runway. And it also ripped the wires from the landing gear as well, and a spark came out of it. And now there's fucking fire, massive fire coming out of the left-hand side of the wing. And within a couple of 100 yards...
You know what? Whose fault that was?
Estate.
Michelin. So what happened was, Concorde was landing, and what they noticed was it was bursting fucking tyres on landing. Famously, and it was costing them tons of money to constantly replace the tyres. So Michelin put in a heavier grade of tyre, and they didn't explode. But anytime they fucking did, it was like a bomb going off under the plane. And after a couple of landings, people weren't paying attention, but there was micro fragments of steel belts in the tyre were escaping the tyre structure.
The wire, like?
Yeah, because it was heavier tyre.
Then sparks, you know when you're driving well.
The lowered lines, as I call them.
Yeah.
Your car's been lowered and you have them lines on your tyres.
Yeah, but you know,
the thing about it was, there were such small fragments that there were micro holes appearing in the wings that nobody picked up on in between flights.
But the Concorde thing, that wasn't a case of the wheel just burst for no reason. A plane that had just previously taken off before
Had left shrapnel.
Had left a bit of shrapnel off of when the landing gear was going up. There was just this small strip of metal.
Because the heavier tyres didn't burst, but something had caused them to burst.
And it was this perfectly matched rip in
Caused
the wheel.
both the Concorde crashes.
But now they have wheels. I don't know what the name of the company who made a particular type of wheel, and they're practically impossible to blow. Like I've seen, they tested them. They're bouncing them on the fucking runways, and it's absolutely fine. They done test running over.
Test of failure.
It's the fucking. But it's not even like, you know, bouncing on the runway or whatever. Like you have to look at the whole way of Concorde coming on to. Well, fucking maybe
12 points.
But they're gone,
yeah,
weren't they? They're gone.
Oh yeah, it was done away. That second crash was done away with.
Well, you know what they're putting at the end of runways now? They came up with an invention because
a stop sign.
Yeah, please stop here.
So the boot, lad.
for runoff, because a lot of planes who come down too late or have some sort of technical problem, when they have runoff at the end of the runway, the wheel digs into the ground, and the plane will start flipping, and everybody's dead at that stage. So they put this stuff in that's concrete, but it's like a you know that stuff you use for plants. You put the plant into it. Oasis, yeah. You push your finger in it and it makes that shape.
So it's high air content concrete.
Exactly.
That's like the stuff that's in the roof of the Pantheon. Do you know the Pantheon in Rome?
But you can literally, you can jump through this.
Okay.
Like you can walk down to
It's
the
an
end of the
arrestor.
motorway and you jump on it and your feet will make an indentation in it. They decided, how are we going to test this? Fuck it. We'll get a plane and we'll just do it. And not remote controlled. They were in the fucking, and they were doing, I think it was only 60 miles an hour, which I kind of went, lads, if that was going 300 miles an hour, it'd be a lot fucking different.
Yeah, but takeoff speed's 120.
Yeah, but it's for landing.
Yeah,
but landing, you kill your airspeed and you do an air brake even with the entire body.
Yeah, this is very true. You have to get to a particular speed before you can land.
The thing is, there's more crashes on takeoff than landing.
Well, that's the most dangerous time
of the flight. Yeah,
it's the start of the flight and the end of the flight.
But the takeoff is way more.
I do like that feeling.
Yeah, there's G-force.
Oh, it's class.
Yeah,
because you're getting it this way and then it suddenly goes that way and you feel that dip.
Actually, you know, G-force gets when you know fighter planes. G-force can get so strong that and they can't go.
You white out.
There's a guy. So there was a guy who had his legs chopped off. Actually, had no dick, nothing down there. It was all gone, and he was all sewed up.
But he doesn't lose his blood to the G-force.
He doesn't lose his blood to the G-force and doesn't pass out. And that made scientists go, "Oh, I have an idea. Let's get compressible trousers." So when they're in high G-force speeds, the trousers compress and pushes the blood back up.
Yeah, because the exercise was you had to squeeze your thighs a certain way together and do a breathing exercise where you're forcing air into your lungs.
Would you do it? Would you get into one of those planes?
Oh, of course.
I would be terrified, but I would love to.
Oh, no, strap me in, man.
Yeah, I would puke. You'd have to puke.
Depends on if the pilot's been an asshole, because it's very easy to scare somebody in that scenario.
Yeah, and have you ever seen them literally coming over the runway and they'll turn upside down, fly along the runway and go back up and you're like, you fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that?
Do you know what kind of plane you'd want to spin in?
Oh, like a stealth bomber. Or
I want a
something.
Sukhoi Su-35, man.
What's
Well,
that?
that's very specific.
That is very
It's
specific.
a Russian plane, man.
Right,
Okay.
and what's so good about them?
It's better than the American plane.
And is it better than the fucking Harrier jump jet that we all heard so
Yeah.
much about over the years?
Well, the Harrier has the best record of any war-fighting plane. It's never lost a plane in an air-to-air combat.
You should
Has
know
it
this.
now?
You should know this, Mr. Conspiracy Theory.
In the Falklands War, two Harriers took out 16 Mirages.
All right.
That was a Generation 2 versus a Generation 3 fighter.
There was a plane developed very recently. What do you say recently? Probably the last 5 or 6 years, and it was developed by the Americans. But apparently, it's completely transparent. As in, it does that whole what do you call that? It goes
Cloaking.
invisible. Cloaking. Thanks.
Yeah, it's easier to do on a plane. You can cloak anything with that tech, but it's so much easier to do with a plane.
But this is apparently this cloaking is so well done that it's something about bouncing. It's not cameras. It's bouncing the light around it, and you can see.
So it's like fibre optic all around.
I don't know. I know.
It's like
Neil,
a fibre optic mirror and camera thing.
look it up. Neil deGrasse Tyson gives a great explanation about it. So it's a real thing.
They're naked to the eye, right? But the problem is they become so much more visible to sensors.
And heat.
Well, no,
And sound.
you're always going to appear on FLIR.
On
forward
frequency.
laser and infrared camera, right? You're always going to appear on that. Is radar. The Yanks developed that stealth paint.
Stealth paint.
Yeah, that's what stealth bombers are painted with. It bounces radio signals off around the radar around the plane.
Okay.
It's crazy. That's more important than.
Well, here's one for you. You
visual.
know, we'll wrap up on your Did You Knows because we haven't done Did You
I have a
Knows in
great
ages.
one for you.
Did you know that U.S. Navy boats and Navy boats around the world, how they disarm the mines that are still in the water from the world wars? Do you know how they get around them? So if they bump into them, that they don't. How do they explode? First of all,
There's like a plunger on the end. of
no, them plungers are only design. That's something to do with the design. It's not. It detects the frequency, the electronic frequency of it, and it explodes when it's nearby.
Must they just turn everything off?
No, they run a giant coil around the ship, and they create a frequency around the ship,
It sets them off.
and it just makes the ship invisible.
Oh.
It's like, ooh, that's pretty cool. Richard Hammond.
Invisible to the mines.
Invisible to the mines, yeah.
Yeah. Did you know
Yes.
Ewan McGregor has a brother called Colin McGregor?
Who's a fighter pilot?
And you know what his nickname is, his fighter pilot name is? OB2.
Very good.
That's real.
Yeah, no, that's good.
You know, like Maverick, his is OB2.
Yeah.
His brother was Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So, did you know, back to the point I started on a minute ago, the roof of the Pantheon in Rome, it's the longest fucking consistently used ritualistic space in the world. But its roof is a dome. It's an unfinished dome. There's a hole in the middle of it, and it's made from 9 different types of concrete, with increased amounts of pumice rock in it to make it lighter as it goes up.
Ah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well,
and for years, the structural engineers could never work out how the fuck they built a poured dome roof.
Probably built an entire wooden structure first.
Oh yeah, no, but like you can see, like it's in steps, like, and they couldn't understand how.
Casting in steps and rings.
Yeah, but like to mix in the different concretes to make it lighter.
But you know what I can guarantee you?
What?
Fred Didna would have had it down in a week. £5 a bucket.
I kind of have to question your Did You Know?
Why?
Because you said it's the most religious used.
Yeah.
It's just a famous space, but the Did You Know is the concrete.
I know, but what I want to disagree with is the most religiously used.
No, it's the longest used ritualistic space in the
Longest, not the most used.
No, the longest
because that would
used.
be Mecca.
Yeah, it would absolutely.
Yeah, Mecca would be the most used.
Yeah, there's another mass pilgrimage of people, and it's Muslim as well, and it happens in Iraq, and I think it might nearly be bigger than the Hajj. The Hajj is the trip to Mecca, like.
Yeah, I don't know what the place you were talking about.
Yeah,
so
no. I'm trying to think. Like,
there's a huge one in India as well.
Your man Rory, he did the fucking article on it, and he's seen it all. So I'm gonna have to get him in to talk about this.
There's some crazy festivals in India, isn't there?
Oh yeah. Sure, India's a fucking subcontinent.
Diwali festival.
There's one where they throw
Yeah,
piss. There's one where they throw shit.
Yeah,
One where
Diwali's
they
the
throw
festival.
tomatoes.
There's one where they throw powder.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine that to be a terribly comfortable environment to be in.
I'd be wearing some gogs.
I would be wearing a mask because I'm not inhaling powder in on top of my lungs and making dough in my lungs.
You'd be alright, cough it up.
Yeah, I probably would. And
He
on
wouldn't.
that note, it is time to go, lads. I would like to thank Mr. Pierce Fox for coming in this evening.
I'd like to thank Studio 2 for having us.
Yes, because
Thanks,
this is
Studio.
our final night, but I'll be here tomorrow taking this shit down. I'd like to thank Mr. Richard Quinlan for coming in this evening, and I would like to thank our listeners for tuning in and for sharing as much as you didn't do, you assholes.
Thanks very much, Aiden, for having us.
No problem at all. We will be back hopefully on Thursday. I'm not going to promise anything because we might not have the studio ready yet because we're in the process of moving.
Yeah, we're about a week out, guys, for the Podfather podcast.
Yeah, for the Podfather. So don't forget that, yeah.
We're going to get a sign made and all.
Yes, and we're going to go with the theme of the Godfather.
And we'd also like to thank anybody who
We're
listened
gonna
to
rip
us.
the shit out of that. Oh, that's going to get milked.
Plagiarism.
What's that?
We're going to rip the shit out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Milk it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What have they done to my beautiful podcast?
That's hopefully what the listeners won't be saying.
Well, on that wonderful bombshell, I'd like to thank everybody. So we will see you hopefully on Tuesday. If we don't see you on Tuesday, we will see you
Arrivederci.
next week.
Look.